Okay, I'm finally live. Now let's start recording. Okay, let's make sure the sound's good. All right, got sound and I'm finally here. Hello, chat. Sorry I'm late. Hello, all. I'm back. I'm here. Woo! Having internet problems tonight. Big time. Welcome to the live stream where we do it live, and I'm very, very late, and I'm very, very sorry. I actually was going to be late anyway because, unfortunately, I got caught up in traffic on the way home from Mexican train and Chile. And, man, took forever to get online because I get home and Comcast is down. So my brand new modem, which Comcast insisted would be faster somehow, which gave me problems last week, didn't even work when I went to go use it right now. So, as you can tell, I'm super happy about it because no one knows I'm online now. And now I have to go to X. I know, Joan, I'm doing a lot of bitching. I'm live where we do it live. Hollywoke hot take live. There we go. Okay, let's see. Do I have a link? I have to find the damn link. Hold on. Joan, give me a break. Having a rough night. Let's see. I gotta go to my channel. Where's my channel? View my channel. There we go. There we go. And then this. And this. There we are. Okay, there I am. Looking great. Man, I look good. Ooh. I'm not gay, but when I look at me. Here you go. Okay. We'll just spread this link around the internet, and everybody will know that I'm incredibly late. Here, let's go to Blue Sky and tell the liberals I'm online. Hello, liberals. They're very liberal on Blue Sky, as we all know. I know, Joan. It's wrong to call them communists. They're not communist yet. They're merely communist light. We'll go over to Minds. I really like Minds as a platform, but it doesn't seem to be loading. Nothing's loading quickly. How about Facebook? Is Facebook going to load? No, of course not. There it goes. Here, I'll drop the link on Facebook. That's a pretty lively platform these days, anyway, for the people who watch me. Did Minds finally load? No, it's still not loading. I know, Joan. I know. Shut up. What do you want? You want to get down already? Joan, you're the only thing keeping this channel going with your cuteness. Your little Muppet face. Yeah, your little Muppet face. Look how Muppety you are. When you get your hair grown, you look like a little Muppet. You could be on the Muppets. Right? Come on, she could be a Muppet. Or we could do Waldorf and Statler. You and me. Ah, somebody's here. Mr. Filbert is here. Your volume is low compared to the other channels and ads, just so you know. Yeah, this is the thing. I'll get closer to the microphone. I don't know. I got my levels up pretty good. See, there's my levels, right in the yellow. That's the sweet spot. So, I mean, I got it turned up all the way. I can't imagine it being any louder. So, not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. My levels are good. But I'll get closer to the mic. Right, Joan? Right, Joan? Thanks for tuning in, Filbert. People will drift in, I'm sure. Tonight on the live stream, where we do it live, we'll be talking about the box office, which was very strange this week. We'll also be talking about what went on this week, including the First Lady had a movie. So, a lot of times on Hollywoke Hot Take, this is the intersection of entertainment and politics. If I had like a fancy opening, like the words entertainment and politics would crash together, and then the letters would spill on out, and it would spell Hollywoke hot take. And then you go, wait a minute, there's no H's in that. Doesn't make any sense. But of course, don't forget the Pineys, and don't forget to vote me up, because nobody votes me up on YouTube. Yeah, let's get right into it. Hopefully people will drift in, because it is a bizarre box office this week. Oh, let me get the chat. I got the chat wrong. I got everything wrong today, Joan. So, yeah, I know the ads are loud. That's a trick, by the way. Advertisers always mix the sound levels of their ads higher than the actual show. And the people who allow ad buys do that on purpose, because when the volume suddenly kicks up, you might, your attention might be drawn to the screen, and then you might buy some useless crap you don't need. So I apologize for all the useless crap you're being advertised to, but Joan needs money, so I can keep her in the lifestyle she is accustomed to. Filbert says, apparently old ladies in the South are actually going to see Melania. I don't blame them. It sounds like a movie they would enjoy, because it has fashion in it, fancy parties. It's a woman who's, kind of at the top of her game. She married the most powerful, famous, and one of the richest men in the world. So you can't help but give that respect if you're in that game, right? And I think a lot of ladies are in that game. They'd like to be married to someone who's super powerful and successful. It's an aphrodisiac. I know something of that. Yeah. But the thing of it is, the critics, speaking of Melania, let's just get right into Melania movie. The critics of Rotten Tomato, which I don't endorse, by the way. Rotten Tomatoes, I think, sucks. But wait till you see the breakdown here. 10%. Now, this is the quote-unquote mainstream movie critics. Give it a 10% out of 100. So they hate it. Oh, it's the worst movie ever. And look at the audience rating. 99%. That's higher than a lot of classic movies that you could name off the top of your head, right? That's probably higher than Citizen Kane. Let's see. Is Citizen Kane on this list? Let's see. There it is. Citizen Kane. I bet it's higher than Citizen Kane. Yep. Citizen Kane's at 90. Now, the critics gave that a 99. But the average person only gave it a 90. But they gave Melania 99%. So, here's the rundown. And it's from Amazon, of all places. The wokest of the woke, sometimes. Amazon MGM Studios' film Melania offers an unprecedented access to 20 days leading up to the 2025 presidential inauguration. Through the eyes of the First Lady herself, step inside Melania Trump's world as she orchestrates inauguration plans, navigates the complexities of the White House transition, and moves her family back into the nation's capital, with exclusive footage capturing critical meetings, private conversations, and never-before-seen environments. Melania showcases Mrs. Trump's return to one of the most powerful roles. Now, I'm not like a First Lady kind of person, right? Like, I'm not one to say, oh, the First Lady, she's so gorgeous and wonderful and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't care 9 times out of 10. But in the case of Melania, I feel like she did get kind of a raw deal the first term around. Like, she wasn't political. Hillary Clinton, when she was First Lady, was very political. She was trying to make policy. She was trying to push a universal health care plan. Some of you old enough maybe remember that. And one of the reasons they kind of resented her, because they were like, you're the First Lady. You don't make policy. You're the president's wife, right? And the president's wife, her job is to do the support. She's support team, right? She is to greet dignitaries and decorate the White House for Christmas and look nice and smile and do fundraisers. Like, that tends to be the role of the first lady. You don't make policy. But Hillary Clinton wanted to make policy, like, badly. And then when she got such a bad reaction to trying to do that, she backed off it. And then she became more of a traditional first lady. She started, doing fundraisers and doing all that stuff. But she didn't want to do it. And in fact, she ended up on a trip where she claimed they were shot at as they were landing on the tarmac. I want to say Yugoslavia, someplace like that. And then that turned out not to be true, of course. But, anywho, I don't have a big horse in the race of first ladies. But, and even Michelle Obama. I thought they kind of gave her a bit of a hard time. There were a couple of racists that said some really nasty things. Generally speaking, while she was first lady, she stayed out of it. Now she's more political now that the Obamas are out of the White House. But when she was in, she wasn't all that political. She did a lot of the fundraising stuff. She worked on, like not education policy, but she did things like she was into doing gardening with the kids at school and stuff like that. Like, it's not real heavy stuff for the first lady, and that's nice to have because it's in contrast to the president, who has to do all this really, really serious stuff, right? So it's nice to have someone in the White House who's not apolitical but almost not political. You know what I mean? And Melania kind of filled that role. She wasn't, I never heard a peep out of her. But the media came down on her like a ton of bricks. And almost every first lady got to be on the cover of like Vogue and Cosmopolitan and all that. Melania Trump, who was an actual model, they seemed to snub. I think they eventually brought her in. I think now she's going to be on the cover of something. So because of that, that's why I think this movie's doing well. Because of the snub, it's created a backlash of support for her. Otherwise, she'd just be another first lady. She'd just be a normal first lady doing first lady things. And people would barely pay attention to her. But because the media, I think, is so incredibly biased in this day and age, they ignored her, and now you have a backlash, and now her film's doing moderately well. It cost $75 million, I'm told by the entertainment press. I don't know if that really costs that much. $75 million seems awfully high for a movie that is a documentary following around the First Lady and doing interviews and editing. That's not a $75 million movie. I could believe $7.5 million, but 75 I'm having trouble believing. But that was from the entertainment press. Again, they're incredibly biased. If you think the regular press is biased, the entertainment press is 1,000 more times biased against Trump and the Trump family. But let's get into what was the number one movie this weekend by about a little more than 2 million, was Send Help. This is the Sam Raimi movie. And this is an estimate, so it might change a little, but I think Send Help is going to win. Send Help is about, it's Rachel McAdams in one role, and then I forget the name of the actor. He's like a younger, handsome guy. And so he's the boss, and she's like his underling that he's just constantly putting down, giving her a hard time. And then he informs her, by the way, you're going to be fired, or you're fired, and this is your last week on the job, or whatever. Right before they get on a plane. Now they're on a private plane. Indy Phantom is here. Send help to Hollywood. Welcome, Indy. So the plane crashes, of course, and they end up stranded on a tropical island, just the two of them. And he's got a broken leg, and she, because she's the employee and she's a little more practical minded, she has the skills to survive, and he's got a broken leg and really doesn't have the skills to survive. So now it's a status shift, right? So at first he was on top, big money, bossing her around. Ha ha ha! You're going to be fired. And now that they're trapped on an island, it's gone the other way. Now she's in charge, and in fact, she doesn't even want to be rescued. I think at some point in the film, she decides, no, I want to stay here and mess with you, and keep you my little slave boy, basically. And so it becomes a battle between the two of them. Now the problem with that's a pretty good setup, but I think it's a better setup for a like a Tales from the Crypt episode, right? Like that would be a good one episode. And then they kill each other or whatever happens. Something ironic. But for a movie, the problem is Rachel McAdams is the appealing one in the beginning of the movie and the boss is a jerk. And then they switch places, and who do you root for? Right? Do you root for the boss? Well, he was a jerk at the beginning of the movie. Or do you root for Rachel McAdams? Well, she wasn't a jerk initially, but now she's being an incredible jerk. That's the problem with a movie like this, I think. JC is here. Hi. But it's a bit different. Sam Raimi's a good director. Although I think Drag Me to Hell is incredibly overrated. But I'd give this movie a chance. I certainly would check it out on streaming. I don't think I'd go to the theater for it, but then again, I'm really put off by theaters these days. They're horrible. But that's the number one movie, 20 million. And this is a strategy studios use. They release movies in February January, February, the dead zone, essentially, where a movie like this probably couldn't do well against, say, Jurassic Park and all the big, tentpole movies, as they call them, in the summer. But in February, this could be top dog, and is. Indie Phantom. Oh, yeah, Rachel McAdams. Haven't seen her in a while. She's a good actress. Me and a friend put together a movie deal. We were trying to sell to investors in Canada, because that's a way to get movies made. And that was actually during the actor strike, when Canadian actors could work in Canada. They couldn't work in the United States, but they could work in Canada. So we tried to get the ball rolling during the strike. The idea being, if you do a production in Canada, you get all sorts of tax breaks if you put Canadians in the production in key roles. So she would have had a key role. She would have been like the second lead. My friend, who's an actor, he would have been the first lead. He's also Canadian, dual citizen. Then there was, we were looking at a Canadian director and Canadian producers. We were trying to get this rich guy in Canada to front the whole thing, but it didn't come together, unfortunately. For the villain, we wanted Mickey Rourke. This was before The Wrestler, so it was a while ago. But we still have the script, so maybe someday, who knows. But yeah, she's a good actress. Good actress. Number 2 is Iron Lung. This is from Mark Plyler? I think that, or Plyer? Plyer? This is based on a video game. I never played this video game, and I don't even remember ever seeing it. Set in a post-apocalyptic future where an event known as the Quiet Rapture caused all known stars and habitable planets in the universe to disappear, a convict is sent in search of an ocean of blood, sent to search an ocean of blood discovered on a desolate moon using a small submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung. Yeah, I don't get it either. Feels like it's a metaphor. Indie Phantom. I saw the movie Influencer last night and I was impressed. The lead actress has a huge birthmark on her face, but it's still hot, and I appreciated her shower scene a lot. Oh, okay. I know that movie. Yeah, she was hot. And she does have a big birthmark in her face. Was that part of the movie? Indie Phantom. Iron Lung is some self-funded YouTuber thing. Put Chris Stuckman movie to shame financially. Oh, what did this thing cost? Well, it made $17 million. If this thing was self-funded, that's probably money. That's probably big money. Because, It feels very claustrophobic, the movie. I feel like a lot of the movie probably takes place in that crazy submarine and blood. So I'm not sure. I don't know much about it, but I know it was a video game. Indie Phantom looking forward to Influencers, which she is also in. I'll have to check that out. And then number 3 is Melania, which we were talking about right at the top of this thing, at 7 million, little over 7 million. Now that's only in 1,778 theaters. I wonder why it wasn't 1,776. For a Trump film, get it? But that's about half the other theaters. That's about half of Send Help. So if you double that, it would have done about 14 million. So it still would have been third. JEC, Blood Ocean. Wasn't that a Metalocalypse? Maybe. That sounds like something they would put in that. Indie Phantom, the birthmark is real. She's a Canadian dancer, actress. They do make it part of the story and really well. Sequel has even better reviews. Wow, I might have to check that out. JEC, is Melania a documentary or a bioflick? It's a documentary that takes place in the 20 days leading up to the inauguration in 2025. So it follows Melania around as she's getting ready for the inauguration and all the people she has to deal with. So, and I'm sure there's some, background on her. But judging, since that's the way they're framing it, that probably is, blows by in like 5 minutes. Indie Phantom, Melania is a doc mostly about the days leading to the inauguration. Yeah. And it's doing well. It got 10% on Rotten Tomatoes and 99% for the audience score. So people are supporting the Trumps, and it's the same old story. The mainstream media hates the Trumps and does anything they can in any way to virtue signal how much they hate the Trumps, and then regular people just kind of like them and whatever. If they just treated them as a normal presidential family, you wouldn't even have this attention. The media is so stupid. You can't, the old saying is you can't hate the media enough. You really can't, because they're so dumb. They hate the Trumps, and yet they created the Trumps. Trump wouldn't be president if it wasn't for the media. Like, if the media just say, oh, Donald Trump's running for president, let's hear his ideas, he probably wouldn't be president. Instead, they all told us, no, you can't vote for this maniac. And everybody said, F you. So, JEC, I think the Metalocalypse band made a movie in the one episode, and the movie was called Blood Ocean. Yes, I think you're correct. That sounds more like something from A&E, not theaters. Yeah, it'll probably go right to A&E. But it's doing well for a documentary. It's the best opening for a documentary in 10 years. So that's pretty good. Indie Phantom, if it were Michelle Obama, they'd be sucking her D. In fact, there was a Michelle doc that scored like 98% with critics. I wouldn't be surprised. There is incredible bias in the entertainment media. I mean, if you watch this channel, you certainly know about that. But I've told family and friends for years that there's an incredible bias in the entertainment industry, that they all go one way, and if you express any kind of political opinion, that it's not just that it's Republican or not Republican, it's anything that's not whatever the virtue signal is that week. So when climate change was a huge thing, you'll notice that everybody's forgotten about climate change. I thought we were all supposed to be underwater and, burning up on the planet. It was going to be like Tatooine. Remember that? Yeah, they've suddenly forgotten all that. And now it's all about immigrants. And this was a thing during the first Trump administration. I had older relatives, and these people, I remember when I was young, their comments about immigrants, and let me tell you, it wasn't too PC. But now, they love immigrants. They love undocumented immigrants and think they should all be let in. And it's amazing to watch that change. And I point that out to them, and they're like, well, like, oh, that was the 80s. You can't, like, call us out on stuff we said in the 80s. Yeah, well, I haven't really changed my opinion much since the 80s. I mean, I'm in a different political space, but not that much. Like, I wouldn't have, said the things they said about illegal aliens back there, because I can't repeat it on YouTube, to what they say now. Open the borders, let these poor people in. Like, I don't want to get into it. I'm getting too political. JEC, Big Mike. Indie Phantom, you should review Melania, Tony. Take the girlfriend. I don't think she wants to see that movie, but perhaps I will. I mean, it's going to be on Prime, so perhaps I'll get to see it anyway. Honestly, I don't want to see it. I think it'll be boring. It might be less boring than a First Lady documentary simply because you'll probably see Trump running around saying crazy things, and the inauguration's probably pretty intense, but honestly, it's not my kind of movie. If it's not vampires shooting at robots, what the hell do I care? Number 4 is Zootopia, dropping from 3. Man, this movie won't... Is this going to be in theaters forever? We'll just go to theaters now, and it'll be like, okay, here are the new movies. Here are the movies from last week, and of course, the last theater is for Zootopia. It's just everybody sees it at least once or twice a year, and we have to keep it in theaters. Indie Phantom, yeah, wait for Prime. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to go to movie theaters. I'm so disillusioned from the movie experience. If it was a small theater, maybe. One of the old-timey theaters, if there are any left. I don't even know if there's one in New Jersey. Perhaps down the shore, the Ocean City one. Indie Phantom, Zootopia 5 will be a thing. I am with you. Yeah, I mean, this movie I think this did better than the first Zootopia. It's just done gangbusters. I mean, 3 is a lock, 4 is a lock, 5 is probably a lock, unless it dies in the next 2, but... yeah, I would say 5. I mean, $1 billion, that's nothing to sneeze at, even today. Number 5, also premiering this week, is Shelter. This is a Jason Statham movie where he shoots dudes in the face. $5.5 million. But Zootopia beat it, and it's been out for 10 weeks. So, Shelter... I mean, while it looks good that it's the number 5 movie, it's still, it still should be stronger than that. And it got beat by a documentary about the First Lady. So, as much as I like Jason Statham movies, I like movies where dudes shoot other dudes in the face. How many times can you see it? And to be honest, Shelter looks okay. It doesn't look great, but it looks okay. And it looks like they're like sort of scaling his movies back now because he's getting older. He's doing stunts that are less physical, in my opinion. Like a lot of his stuff was just shooting dudes. It wasn't. I don't know if you remember some of his older movies where he's like standing in a pool of oil with these 2 things on his feet that give him grips, and then he kung fu fights a bunch of guys, and they're all slipping on the oil, and he's like knocking them out. I forget which one that is. JEC, 5th is not a good thing opening weekend. Yeah, not generally, but it is February. So next week is the key week, right? So either this movie drops off a cliff or maybe it hangs around because people like it. JC, Jason Statham has been making the same movie for 25 years now. Well, yeah, that's the problem. It's a good movie, though. It's a movie I like, but yeah, he needs something else. Last time he was keeping bees. This time he's just there's nothing to it really. He needs a hook every time. Like even if you just call him, I don't know, the fry cook, right? and he throws a bunch of hot French fries into the face of the bad guys, and then he beats them up. Indie Phantom. This Statham movie is just the second release from that mini studio that bombed with Christie. Okay, I wonder what this cost, because it doesn't. It on the one hand, it kind of looks expensive, but on the other hand, it kind of looks cheap at the same time. There's not a lot of people in it, but there are stunts in it. So, $5.5 million. I can't imagine that's going to be enough money. Let's see. What is the budget for the Jason Statham movie Shelter? The AI does not know. Oh, wait. Let's see if the AI knows. Usually the AI knows. Or thinks it knows, anyway. They're saying 50 million? Pfft, that movie's cooked. No way. It made 13 million worldwide. It's done. Next week, you might hit 20. After that, it's all downhill. So that's a loss. That's a big loss. That movie has to make 125 million. It's barely going to make, I'm going to say, 40. Might make 40. And that's really 20. So that's cooked. Indie Phantom. Tony, did you watch The Wrecking Crew? Hacking good things about it as a silly R-rated actioner. No, but I did see the trailer, and I really liked it. Despite the fact that I hate Dave Bautista. I don't like him. But I did like Jason Momoa in it. He looked like he was having fun. And he was beating up Yakuza guys, so that looked cool. Dave Bautista is the serious one. It might work for him, so I might be able to tolerate him in another movie. He hasn't been good since the Guardians of the Galaxy, really, in my view. He's terrible in the other movies. Like, he is god-awful actor without the right director, in my opinion. So, what's next? Avatar, Fire and Ash, dropping from 2 to 6. Oh, Clint Miller's messaging me. What is he saying here? He's probably out with his amazing new girlfriend. Soon to be his wife, I think. Okay. He's asking me something about the Pineys. So Fire and Ash drops from 2 to 6, which normally would be a big drop, right? But this is its 7th week. So it's at 5.5 million. Shelter just barely beat that movie out. And it's in slightly fewer theaters, so yeah. I mean, I can't wait for Fire and Ash to disappear. But it's amazing Zootopia is like 2 spots ahead of it. Now here's the big drop. Mercy, in its 7th week, Chris Pratt film, drops from 1 to 7, drops by 56%. So that's not good for Chris Pratt. 4.7 million. And this movie's probably at least 50 million, I would say. Production budget, 60 million, yeah. So it's at 41, it's not going to make it. Next week, maybe it does. I don't know. Does another 5 million, maybe. After that, 2 and 1. So, yeah, this thing will crack maybe 50, 60 million, but that's, if you calculate that it's only half his profit, then you're out 50% of your money, plus the advertising, whatever they spent on that. They kind of advertise that a lot. Indie Phantom, have mercy on Chris Pratt. I'm always rooting for Chris Pratt. I like Chris Pratt because he is a celebrity that doesn't ram his politics down my throat. I have no idea who he votes for, but I have a sneaking suspicion. But I don't care because he doesn't talk about it. He avoids that wisely. It's the smartest thing you could possibly do as a A-list celebrity like him. But I got to say, Mercy's probably hurt him a little bit. But it's fine because he's got the next Mario Brother movie coming out. And that's big money. It's huge money. He's got so much box office right now. He can afford to put out a few stinkers. And Mercy is a stinker, but I don't think it's the worst. It's not like an embarrassing movie. It doesn't look great. I'm kind of not interested in seeing it, to be honest. But you know, he did that Alien movie. It wasn't very good, but he's got enough wins that he can take a few L's here and there. Not everything you do is going to be great. The Electric State is a bigger blotch on his record, but they kind of blame the Russo brothers more so than him for some reason, which you kind of got to do in that situation because the Russos were expected to do this, great things, but I don't know what happened to the Electric State. I was kind of psyched to see that movie because it was all full of robots, but man, did that get bad reviews. Number 8, dropping from 4, finally. This is another movie that's had legs all day, is The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney. They're already got the sequel up and running. 3.5 million. So expect to see The Housemaid 2. I hope Sydney Sweeney's naked in it, but I don't think so. Number 9 is Marty Supreme, dropping from 5, also in its 7th week. 2.9 million. Now, is this thing making its money? I think 117? No, still not money. The international box office is terrible as compared to the domestic. Look at that. You got 90, 26. That's the split. So, the international audiences probably can't relate to Marty Supreme. Maybe it's a very American story, I would guess. But this is also Oscar bait. So if this thing wins any Oscars, they're going to try to re-release it and get people to see it again because it won an Oscar. They're saying Timothée Chalamet is very good in it. And Robert Downey Jr. says that, which holds some weight. I mean, that guy is a great actor himself. But Robert Downey Jr. has endorsed some things, and I don't mean political, but some movies that I go, I don't know, Rob. Indie Phantom, I heard SS is naked or at least topless in Housemaid. Ooh. Welly. Well, I'll be definitely looking for that on the platforms. Maybe Mr. Skin will have a clip of that somewhere. Remember that website? Mr. Skin's the guy who hunts down every nude scene in a movie and puts it on his website. I don't know how he does it or what the legalities of it are, but if you want to know about that, I hear that Mr. Skin has everything. So finally, boobies are back in movies. If that's the case, I hope so. Why not? This used to be standard practice when movies were selling, Hollywood. Boobies. I mean, if you could put boobies in Marty Supreme, people go see it. I watched Anora. There was a lot of boobies in Anora. Quality stuff. It was a good movie. Won an Oscar. Probably should have won an Oscar for boobies, quite frankly, but that's not a category, sadly. Oh, that should be a category. Best boobies in a movie. Best boobies in the movie. Who would I pick for best boobies in movies? I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence was completely naked in No Hard Feelings. That was a really funny scene too. Wasn't sexy. It wasn't meant to be sexy, but she's completely naked in it. Oh gosh, who else? I mean, over the years, there's been so many. Indie Phantom, I have a Mr. Skin book that's pretty cool and was one of my fave references for a while. Interesting. JC, Trash from Return of the Living Dead. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have a story about her I cannot tell on the live stream, unfortunately, because I don't know how true it is. Indie Phantom, Lawrence, very hot, and Red Sparrow. Oh, right. You keep telling me about that, and I keep forgetting to check it out. She's so hot. You know what? She's not naked, but in Silver Linings Playbook, she looks amazing in that. Who else? I'm almost sure Christina Applegate back in the day was naked in her first film. Like just topless for a wee bit. There were some really good hotties back in the day, though. But see, that's the thing. They should be naked when they're young enough to be really hot, right? But then they don't want to do it then. Then they get older and it's like, oh, I'll be naked. Well, nobody wants to see you now. You want to see you when you're hot. Like, I'm not saying you should, obviously intimidate an actress, but, I mean, there's a time and place to do it. Like, Sharon Stone, I'm telling you, Sharon Stone was an absolute smoke show in Total Recall. I couldn't believe how hot she was. When she came onto the screen for the first time, I couldn't hear any dialogue. There was so much blood rushing through my body. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Streets was the film. That was it. Yep. I'm pretty sure she was at least topless. Lawrence is said to be nude in her current flick, too. Good for her. I think she plays a crazy woman in that, so it's not a sexy nude. What else? 28 years later, The Bone Temple drops from 6 to 10, 1.6 million. I don't know why they made this film. I don't know anybody who could see that the first installment of 28 years later and go, ooh, this needs a sequel. The only thing I wanted was my money back. It was brutally bad. In my view. 53 million. I don't want this movie to do well. I have no idea how much it cost. I would say it had to have cost $100 million. I mean, it's a lot of money in these movies. But the thing about The Bone Temple, they basically shot it along with 28 years later. There were two directors, but I mean, they used some of this. There's some overlap there that would have saved them some amount of money, I imagine. But who knows? Hamnet drops from 9 to 11. 1.5 million. This is more Oscar bait. Probably going to win something. I think it's another movie that, 57 million. I don't think this made its budget back. No idea what the budget is. I'll ask the AI. What is the budget? Come on. What are you doing to me? It's not working. Why is it not working? Oy. Stupid. I gotta type it up here. What is the budget for Hamnet? 30 to 35 million. Yeah, it's gonna have to do 70 to break even. Probably 87, 90 to make any money. That's done. It's done. Totally cooked. Another Oscar nominee that's not going to make any money. So many of the Oscar nominees are not money makers. Now, that's not totally unprecedented, obviously, but usually there'd be a few. Usually 2 or 3 of the movies would be do pretty well. I mean, if you wanted to make a rule to limit the amount of movies that qualify for the Oscars, one of the rules you can make is it has to make money. It has to make a profit. That would change the lineup. Oh, yeah. That would big time change the lineup. I wouldn't mind that at all. Back in the day, if you had asked me that, I'd been like, what? You're just all about money. But no, I think if a movie didn't if it broke even, okay, maybe. If it came close, maybe make an exception if it came within a 10% of making money. But my God, these movies are tanking left and right. You nominating them for an Oscar. Okay. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why it's become just a tool to market a movie. Number 12, dropping from 7, is Silent Hill. This is in its second week, and it dropped 70%. And that pretty much tells you all you need to know. 980K. I've watched some reviews of Return to Silent Hill, and let me tell you something. The video game people are not happy with it. They apparently changed everything. Apparently this is a sequel to a movie they already made, or a remake of a sequel. Either way, they are not happy with the changes at all. And it is really pissing off its core audience. But that's par for the course. It's not even that it's woke. It's just that they made too many changes. See, this was a problem back in the 80s and 90s when they remade something or something on a book or a video game or a comic book, and they changed everything. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, they made the Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren, and basically the Punisher is a guy with a skull t-shirt that kills criminals. They got rid of the skull t-shirt. Like the one thing he had, they got rid of. It made no sense. People were pissed. It didn't do too well. It wasn't the worst movie in the world, but it made no sense. It was like, that's all he is, a guy in a shirt who kills criminals. Now, they decided, no, you know what would be cool? We'll put the skull on the end of a dagger and he'll kill guys with a dagger. He shoots people. Ugh, Hollywood. Next up, Anaconda. Anaconda don't want none is number 13. 820K in its 6th week. Again, could have done better had you casted, I think, a funnier person in the place of Thandie Newton. But it did make money, so can't bash it too hard. Indie Phantom, I remember the first Silent Hill was boring as a dog's arse. I did not see it. But apparently the second video game has some really, dark stuff in. And spoilers for the video game. Apparently at the end of the game, you don't know. You find out, the return to Silent Hill is really just all in his mind. And he may have killed the woman he's trying to save through the entire video game or something, or at least that's the implication. Something like that. It's a real dark ending. And apparently they cut that all out for a happy ending, and it really pissed people off. Number 14 is Primate, 775K in its 4th week. I didn't like this movie because I don't like to see pets, being murdered or killed. And quite frankly, monkeys are dangerous. They should not be pets. So it's kind of a little too real for me. So I wouldn't see that. But next up is Clicker. That's a cartoon, 575K in its 2nd week, dropping 54%. So that's not very good. The SpongeBob movie is still in theaters, 550K in its 7th week. Song Sung Blue, 540K in its 6th week. Did not make money. This is amazing to me because, again, I'd say 20 years ago, releasing this movie would have been big money. Would have been insane money. I believe one person, I think Kate Hudson's nominated for an Oscar for this movie. Go figure. I mean, Kate Hudson, not the worst actress in the world, but I don't associate Oscar winner with Kate Hudson. I just don't. But I didn't see the movie, so whatever. Indie Phantom, I am stoked for Primate. Great horror director who knows how to stage kills. Oh, yeah? I don't know. I don't know if I could watch that movie with a monkey ripping off people's faces. That sounds brutal. Next up is The Moment. 427K. What is this movie? I missed this one. The Moment. A rising pop star navigates the complexities of fame and industry pressure while preparing for her arena tour debut. Is this Anne Hathaway? Who is this? Let me check this out. No, that was a different movie. I think that was called like The Dress or something. No, it's Charlie XCX. I don't care about this. Indie. I enjoyed Song Sung Blue for what it was. Cool scene where they jam with Pearl Jam. Yeah, 20 years ago, I think it would have just done insane numbers, but I don't know. Feels like it was for an audience that's too old to go to the movies. And now, in the frozen wasteland that is South Jersey, they ain't going anywhere. No way. It should do well, though. I think it would do well on, a platform like, whatever it lands on, Prime or whatever. I think it'll do real well on that. Next up is Arco. That one's definitely a cartoon in its 12th week, 411K. No Other Choice, the South Korean movie, 405K in its 6th week. David, the cartoon, the religious cartoon from Angel Studios, 332K, 7th week. The Testament of Ann Lee, 312K in its 6th week. That's Amanda Seyfried singing. Again, probably needs boobies. The Secret Agent, 276K. Kind of want to see this movie, maybe. But it feels like a movie you would see on a platform. In its 10th week, that's nominated for at least 2 Oscars, I think. I think it's nominated for Best Picture. It's nominated for Best Foreign Film, I know that. Greenland 2, Migration, 275K. Don't know why they made this movie. Sentimental Value, nominated by quite a few nominations, 147K. Is This Thing On? 75K. Bradley Cooper, directing things. All That's Left of You, 63K. In its 4th week, A Poet premieres here at the bottom in a couple of theaters. What is this? Middle-aged erratic. An erratic, Oscar is failed writer who had given up on life, unemployed and living with family. He wanders the streets of Medellin in a drunken stupor, lamenting the state of literature in his home country, where he has succumbed to the cliche of the tortured artist. However, the opportunity to mentor a young student offers a chance at redemption if he doesn't screw it up first. That doesn't sound bad. Indie Phantom. If you haven't seen Link, Tony, you can thank me later. Liz Shue Nudity and Killer Ape. The Love That Remains. Also premiering in 2 theaters this week. Anna, an artist, and Magnus, a fisherman, live with their 3 children and charismatic sheepdog in the quiet grandeur of the Icelandic countryside. As the fractures of their marriage come to the surface, the couple try to hold on to the after images of a life together and make sense of a deep and lingering devotion. Okay. So, I guess it's a drama? Or maybe it kind of looks like a comedy from the movie poster. Then Natchez, 17K in 1 theater. Obex, still in theaters, $3,697. And Mistress Dispeller, $176. Oof. And it's in 1 theater, somewhere. That is $82,932,566. Okay. That's better than last week. Last week was 54. So this week, not bad. I mean, not great, but not bad. Yeah. I mean, there's no blockbusters here, but next week, it's going to be weird. It's also going to be weird because you're going to get the second week of like half a dozen movies. They could all just die. They could all just die. Zootopia could shoot right back to the top. Imagine that. I don't know. If Send Help holds It'll probably clock in at 10. Iron Lung will be at like 8.5. Melania will be at 3. And the rest will be below it, but who knows? Who knows? All right. I didn't have any of my links ready, so I got to call them up. Jeez. It's quite a nightmare trying to get here and then rushing in the door and going, I'm 10 minutes late. And then the internet didn't work, and I had to spend like 10 minutes trying to get the internet to work. All right. It's happening. Speculation claims Lupita Nyong'o will play Helen of Troy in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Again, I thought this was like a done deal. I thought this was announced like a year ago. I mean, she's very cute, but I'm pretty sure she's not Greek. Just guessing. So, you know, you can keep just casting people of various races and ethnicities in. I mean, somebody I knew was watching Bridgerton, and everybody in the cast is like a different race and ethnicity. They're supposed to be, oh, they're English. Ooh, as long as we have an English accent, it all works. No, it just doesn't, because you're watching it going, where are the English people? Like, this would literally be like casting, Asians to be in Black Panther. It just doesn't make any sense. When Hollywood loses enough money, they'll finally stop, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. They're just determined to make you colorblind, I guess, in a way that makes zero sense. Like I don't know what their game is here, right? All it does is annoy people. It doesn't help. If anybody's getting their history from movies, and I kind of used to get my history from movies. I used to watch, I'd watch a dramatization of some event that happened, and I'd think, oh, that must have been pretty close to it. It made all kinds of sense to me. Now I just go, there's no way that happened. There's no way it happened that way. Whatever happened, I got to go look up myself if I want to know. So what are you? All you're doing is confusing kids, because kids are the one that end up in a classroom with some lazy ass teacher with tenure who shows a movie instead of teaching a lesson. And the Odyssey would be a perfect thing to show in class. That would be a perfect thing. Even back in like the days of videotape, there were teachers, they just push in a VCR with a TV and go, hey kids, why don't you watch this movie? And then the next day he'd come in and he'd be like, all right, we're continuing watching the movie? Does everybody want to do that? And everybody would be like, yay, we're not learning anything. And they'd watch more of the movie. My classes weren't that way because I was in the advanced class, but I would walk past doors on the way to the bathroom and I'd be like, they're watching a movie in there. So yeah, I think it's a dumb idea. It doesn't have to happen just because you feel bad, I guess, and want a virtue signal to the rest of the world. But this is the way Hollywood is operating now. If you want to get an Oscar, you have to comport to the DEI policies of Hollywood. But this is why the Oscars will now be on YouTube starting in 2029, where no one would really care. I don't care about the Oscars, and I love movies, but I kind of hate the Oscars. So, you want to do the Odyssey this way? Okay. Okay. This was a story yesterday. Supplement peddler, Advanced GG. This is they make a like a powdered drink, and then you drink it when you're gaming. So I don't know. I guess it's like Mountain Dew and Kool-Aid combined. Back in the day, gamers would drink Mountain Dew or some sugary drink, to gear up for whatever game they were playing. In Dungeons and Dragons, it was Mountain Dew and Doritos. These days, it's a special, drink you mix up or whatever. I wouldn't drink this stuff. I think I got a sample of it one time. I don't know why. But I just looked at it and went, why did they send me this? I'm not going to drink this. So the supplement peddler Advanced GG canceled streamers Rev Says Dezu and Darling Schraub, I don't know who they are, for defending ICE, the immigration enforcement people. So, whatever. There's yet another person or product on the list. It's like, how many more woke things are there going to be? Because my list just gets longer and longer and longer. And the more woke it is, the more I'm not going to patronize you. If I remember. But, I'm not patronizing these guys anyway. But it's still annoying. It's still just so annoying to have this wall of people. And they're all NPCs. And they just spout whatever nonsense they've been told to spout until the next thing. All these same people were all about climate change, you may remember. Now, I don't know if Advanced GG was, but, it's the mentality I'm describing, really. It's just crazy to me. And speaking of woke, Star Trek Starfleet Academy Episode 4 writer confirms it's all about pushing identity politics. Yes, it is. If you haven't seen any of the videos about Star Trek Starfleet Academy, you should probably watch one. They're pretty funny. The wokeness is off the charts with this one. They got a Klingon who has 2 dads and he's gay, apparently, or he's in a polyamorous relationship with gay guys or something. I don't know. It's the dumbest Star Trek ever. They should just call it Dumb Trek. That's what they should call it. I thought Voyager was dumb. But Jesus. There's like new levels of dumb in this. But the best was Paul Chato calling it Melrose Space. I love that title. Daisy Ridley shares an update on a return to Star Wars sooner rather than later. Oh, slow down. No thank you. Just go back to whatever it is you were doing. I don't know. Do a car commercial or something. Please, no more Star Wars from you. I have a sneaking suspicion whatever Star Wars Kathleen Kennedy was gearing up for is either they bought her off with some sort of 3-picture deal that she'll be able to finish doing 3 movies with Rey, or they told her, no, you're done, finally. But I don't know. She apparently has the best agent on the entire planet. Because for years, in my opinion, she should have been fired. And then, everybody was talking about how she was going to be fired. And then she just kept going on and on and on. Like Godzilla destroying the movies. She'd step on a movie and destroy it. And then they'd be like, this is the end of Kathleen Kennedy. And, oh, no, she destroyed another movie. Alexander Ogle is here. Hello. Evening, bigots. I agree Voyager was dumb. I was never truly happy with DS9 either. TNG was peak. Perhaps I should get the box set. Well, you say it was peak. Did you watch the first season during the writer's strike? Ouch. DS9 out of the new Trek was the best. Of course, to me it's the original DS9, then TNG, and everything else you could pretty much throw away. I couldn't stomach Enterprise. I watched the first episode. I hated the opening. Oh my God, I said, I can't watch this show. It's brutal. It's brutally bad. That one flew in the face of canon. The identity politics, of course, flies in the face of canon, but that, canon was thrown out the window, starting with that show, in my opinion. Some of the TNG and DSI stuff kind of ruined canon, but they were kind of trying to retrofit it. I'm not sure how it all went down, but it was at least kind of close. I don't know. I don't know why they bothered to change things when it works. I understand when you change things, they don't work. Alexander Ogle, I watched the Granada TV adaptation of Sherlock Holmes with Jeremy Brett as Holmes And one episode had a younger Marina Sirtis as an Italian daughter of a mob boss in London, the Six Napoleons. Neat. Marina Sirtis. You cannot imagine how hot she was in person. That I met her one time at a convention. And like on the show, she's pretty good looking. She even looks a little heavy set in that costume they had her in. You meet her in person, though. Woo, what a smoke show she was back in the day. And I met her like, I think this show was still on. Or it was either on or it had just gone off the air. She was hot. She was a hot smoke show. Very cute. Interesting. I might have to see that. I like Sherlock Holmes. What else? What else happened this week? A lot of it was the Starfleet Academy stuff. I mean, everything from polygamy to multiple sexes teasing each other in a locker room where they're naked. And, I mean, you don't see anything, but it's like men and women. Like, they're trying to push the idea, oh, yeah, men and women could be in the same locker room getting changed. Yeah, that's just what I want. Just what I want. Getting undressed in front of women. I don't want that. Who the hell wants that? What guy wants that? What woman wants that? I don't think too many. Alexander Ogle, she didn't have a pineapple on her pizza, and she didn't have gravy on her pasta, nor did she say, forget about it. Well, she was from actual Italy, which is different. She, of course, had some sort of Italian accent, I imagine. All right, let's move on to Variety. See what's going on over there. Oh, of course, we have to talk about, sadly, Catherine O'Hara died. She was 71. If you haven't heard, I did a video about it. It's really not much to tell. She had she had like at least one rare heart condition and kept it a secret, which is something people in the business do if they're sick. I don't think she was like sick. She might have been like Harold Ramis. She had a chronic condition, which finally took her out in the end, but hadn't, she had lived through it for many, many, many years, that kind of thing. Harold Ramis had some very rare condition, and it finally killed him. There were pictures of her floating around, looking very frail. And it was weird to me because I had seen her, or I'd seen clips of her in the studio, which she's in, which is pretty current, and Beetlejuice, and she looked like herself. She looked pretty good, and I had read her age, and I'm like, oh my God, she's 70? She looks pretty good for 70. And so it felt kind of sudden that she died, because it seemed like, her career was doing very well again. Alexander Ogle, Daisy Ridley is very pretty and a great actress, but she needs the right roles. I liked her in Murder on the Orient Express, albeit Kenneth Branagh can't hold a candle to David Suchet as Perrault. I haven't seen Daisy Ridley in anything good, but I'll take your word for it. She definitely has been miscast. Oh, God. I mean, the Star Wars things are just an abomination. The Die Hard movie they tried to push was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, there's no one left in Hollywood just to, to be the adult in the room. Just, there has to be someone at the studio to go, what the hell is this? Oh, we're casting Daisy Ridley in a Die Hard movie where she kills all the bad guys and, beats people up. No. Like, somebody at the studio has to be like, no, that's a dumb idea. Cast her in a Girl Next Door movie where she looks nice and falls in love or something. Alex Ogle says, evening, Indie Phantom. So anyway, Catherine O'Hara, I first saw her in SCTV with Eugene Levy back in the day. Very funny and always funny. So it was a shock. And the other big shock this week, two shocks. Number 2 was Sal Buscema. If you're a comic book fan, you know who Sal Buscema is. Very, Very big artist in the world of comics. Drew the Hulk and the Avengers, all kinds of stuff. Alexander Ogle says evening to JEC. And then the third one was, I believe his name's Desmond Wilson, but you may know him better as Lamont from Sanford and Son. And that's what Red Fox would always say. Lamont, this is the big one. And so he passed away at 79. So that's the three. Sad. See the 2026 Grammy winners as they're announced? Do we care about this at all? I bet I don't know one single person who won a Grammy. Let's see. Record of the year. Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar with SZA, Chappelle Rowan, and Rose and Bruno Mars. I've listened to a couple of Bruno Mars songs and a couple of Lady Gaga. The rest, I've heard Billie Eilish and Bad Bunny and Sabrina Carpenter, but I can't say I could pick out one of their songs. No way. So, looks like nothing's been announced yet. What time is it? Yeah, it really just got going, so. So, the Grammys are on if you really, really, really hate yourself. Because looks like Trevor Noah is the host. Trevor Noah roasts Nicki Minaj at the Grammys for going MAGA. She's still at the White House with Donald Trump. Ha 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 ha! Oh, Trevor. This is the kind of comedy we've come to expect from you. The sort of, I don't know, non-laughing kind. Alex Ogle, sad when talent dies like the passing of Wilfred Bramble and Harry H. Corbett as Steptoe and Son, and which Sanford and Son is based. Steptoe and Son. Interesting. I assume that was an English version of it. Yeah, we steal a lot from the English, don't we? From the TV shows. 2.5 Men was stolen from the English. The Office, of course. Not really stolen, but we just remake it and Americanize it because apparently we can't hire any writers here. There's absolutely no writers in America to be found that could write comedy. I did love the opening song to Sanford and Son. I would tune in almost just for the song. There's no way that was the song in England, was it? Let's see. Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T mentioned in the latest Epstein file releases. I am shocked. Harvey Weinstein was mentioned in the Epstein files? That's going to really ruin his reputation. I need a laugh track. Come on. Now, I think do I have that? I'm going to have to get a laugh track next week. I've got a Casio keyboard I bought. Wonder if I could sample a laugh so I could push it and go, ha, 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 ha. I need a laugh track. Come on. Alex Ogle. Trevor Noah, whose act is entirely based on his being black in South Africa. I saw his stand-up before he took over The Daily Show. It was okay. But, you know, after The Daily Show, I'm like, ugh. Alex Ogle, don't worry, Tony. I laughed. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Let's see. Box office, Melania Doc beats expectations. CBS News contributor Peter Attia under fire after latest Epstein files disclosure. Imagine knowing that you're in those files and you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. That must be a high pressure situation. But holy crap, man. The stuff that came out, I watched Asmongold. I've been watching him recently. And So he went through some of the Epstein files, and they were pretty horrific, some of them. Now, a lot of it was, I mean, there's no way you could prove any of it. And a lot of it seemed like wild speculation upon the people that the FBI were interviewing, but you don't know what's true in those. And some of it some of it was from Epstein himself. And some of the stuff he said seems to imply really horrible things. Alex Ogle, wasn't the director of Melania's documentary in the Epstein files himself? Yes, his name's Brett Ratner. And he was on the island. He's actually in a picture with Epstein, and they're both canoodling with girls. And the four of them are on a couch, girl, boy, and the girls are blotted out. But they're not girls like little girls as far as I could tell. But, you know, the people who aren't famous were blotted out, I assume. Or they don't know, either that or they don't know if they were victims or prostitutes or who knows. But the biggest revelation to come out of there, and this is nuts, and I don't know how true it is, so it may not be true, but when you hear it, you kind of think, that could be true. So, according to some of the files, Epstein got mad at Bill Gates because apparently this happened, and Epstein ends up sort of regurgitating the entire story back to him because he's mad because Bill Gates keeps annoying him with it. So apparently what happened is Bill Gates came to the island, got an STD from a Russian hooker, maybe, and then passed it on to his wife. And by the time he got notice of the STD or realized he had it, he had already had sex with his wife, I guess. So then he had to turn around and he tried to, or did, slip an antibiotic into his wife's drink to get her, to cure her of whatever she might have, in order that she never knew she had an STD. So it must have been the kind of STD that could be cured, I assume. Right? It must have been like, I don't know, which one are curable like that? I guess the clap, something like that. So, and then apparently Gates was bugging Epstein not to reveal it to anyone or ever talk about it to anyone. Like, and he got super insistent and specific on what he could and could not do. And then Epstein got mad, and that's when he went back at him and said, hey, you asked me to do this, 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 and this. And he's listing all the things that happened, apparently. I don't know if it's real or not. Now, it could be it could be that Epstein was trying to signal to him some sort of blackmail, or the email could be totally fake. I mean, we don't know these emails are verified, but it's crazy. JC, it's like the plot of a bad sitcom. It really is. Alexander Ogle, Bill Gates' attitude to STD meds is wholly reflected in his attitude to vaccinations for everyone on the planet. No choice, just administer. Yeah, don't worry. Just take the drug. I promise you. I would bet money. I don't promise you, but I would bet money. Bill Gates never took that vaccine. You know the one I'm talking about. But the rumor is he used to do that kind of crazy stuff back when he was building Microsoft. Like, they had some wild times. You know, that seems crazy, but who knows? JEC, it's probably an example of how he blackmailed guys, laying it all out like that. I would think. To me, that's a signal to Bill Gates, hey, you better shut up, or I'm gonna tell people what happened. But to put it on an email is insane. Emails are not safe, obviously. The NSA has spent literally billions of dollars so they could just have these giant data centers in the desert that just record the entire internet. That's like all it does. And they may not find it in the beginning, but when they decide to target you, then they'll find everything. They'll find everything you did, every browser history you have, from where you did it. They'll know everything. But you got to be famous enough and powerful enough for them to even, for it to even be worth doing. But they're holding on to it just in case they need to intimidate you. Alex Ogle, the irony is the Windows was in need of more antiviral work, than Gates would have had the rest of us undergo. That's Alex, you're on fire today. JEC, I think he emailed it to himself. Maybe he wanted it on a different device, maybe to print it up. Possibly. Now, this is in the FBI files for what that's worth. I mean, who knows? The FBI could have made up the whole thing to blackmail Gates, right? Like, if you've already been on the island, I think you're effed. Because it doesn't matter, like, if they come up with an email, even if it's completely fake, there'll be no way you can prove it. I don't think. I mean, I think there's some way you could prove it in terms of the email and the code that's in every email. If they really faked it and didn't use the right code, but it's not that hard to find for the people who know that code. They could just find it and copy it, and it's no problem. So what are you going to do? And it's badly Xeroxed, reprinted stuff. You could change that and make it look like anything. That's no problem at all. And then once it's out there, what are you supposed to do? I think this is part of the reason Trump didn't want it released. Because they don't have any way of knowing. I think the FBI is so corrupt, they don't have any way of knowing if the evidence is real or not. It could just be made up. Literally, I think the FBI is perfectly capable of just saying, "Hey, we want to crush this guy. Let's just make up a bunch of evidence. Can you have something on my desk?" And the guy goes, "Oh yeah, no problem." And he just types up an email like this. Now, I'm not saying Gates is innocent. I think he's guilty as hell. But for other people that they wanted to squash or intimidate, sure. But some of the other stuff Asmongold was reading, he was basically reading off a thread on X. It's really dark. I don't suggest you go down that rabbit hole unless you have a strong constitution. It is bad. What else? Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters becomes first K-pop Grammy winner ever. So there's that. Sabrina Carpenter takes flight at Grammys with man-child performance, gives censors a test with F words. So she cursed a bunch. Okay. Will anybody care? Oh, here we go. Grammys red carpet fashion. I know you guys love this. So let's see. Sabrina Carpenter. Kind of dated look. Kind of old lady dress. I guess she's okay. I don't know. Something about her. It's like she kind of reminds me of Christina Aguilera, who always looked like she was a little sticky. Like she's a little gross. I don't know why. Alex Ogle, Trump needs to reinstate Doge for just a few months of each year he's in charge. Well, one of the things he's just instituted is he's appointed an AG or an attorney to investigate fraud. There's going to be a fraud task force. Now, I assume that will get just as corrupt as all the other task force they've ever created in Congress, but for now, I think for the Trump admin, it'll probably do some good. JC, reminds me of 90s Courtney Love in that one. Yes, excellent point. Yeah, although hers would be trashier. Rose, I don't know who that is. I don't know, kind of a weird, clunky dress. I would think people would be stepping on the parts of your dress if they get too close to you. JEC, Savina Carpenter is Nancy Cartwright from The Simpsons' niece. Did you know that? I did not. That's weird. Alex Ogle at JEC. Good spot. Hey, Addison Rae. Well, she looks happy. Um, Kind of a dumb looking dress, but kind of hot at the same time. Like she doesn't know she's showing that much skin. That's kind of what that picture reminds me of. Uh, not too shabby, but a weird looking dress. I mean, it's cute to look at, but if I was going out with her, I'd be like, "Are you gonna wear that?" Oh my God, what the hell is this? Can I even show that? Just Chappelle Rowan. I don't even know if I can show this dress. Is she covered? Holy criminies! I don't know, man. I better roll off of that. So Chappelle Rowan basically topless. Um, I think they show less skin at Hooters. Jesus. So yeah. Well, yeah. If I was going out with you, I'd be like, put some clothes on, woman. JC, enhance, Tony. Zoom and enhance. Alex Ogle, they all look like they're in the Hunger Games. Well, maybe not as bad in recent years. Yeah. Here's Cat's Eye. Well, this one I can zoom and enhance on. I don't know who Cat's Eye is. Are they a team of strippers? Does anybody know? They kind of look like strippers. I mean, they're pretty hot, but I have no idea who these women are. Ah, come on. Oh my goodness. I don't care about him. Here's FKA Twigs. I don't know. It's kind of a dumb. Kind of looks like you took the dress and dragged it behind the car on the way to the Grammys and then put it on in the bathroom. What the hell happened? I don't get design. I really don't. I don't know who that is. Pink Panthers. Kind of the same comment as the previous one. What? Is anybody not wearing rags to this thing? What the hell's going on? I don't have a dress. Pull down that curtain and wrap it around yourself. You gotta get out there. Okay. What the hell? I found this in a dumpster. Lola Young. Wow. What is going on here? It's kind of like Harry Potter meets a Snuggie with rubber ducks and Mario mushrooms on it. And her hair looks like something out of a Devo video. Alex Ogle, Twigs wearing an outfit that looks like she came from a forest. Are these stars shopping at welfare? I don't know. It's a very strange lineup here. I mean, it is the Grammys, so they don't have as much money. I don't see Taylor Swift here. Wouldn't Taylor Swift win like all the Grammys? Or is she not eligible because she's at the wrong record label? I don't care about this, dude. Way to wear jeans, dude. Sharon Osbourne was there because they did a tribute to Ozzy. She kind of looks like Ozzy now. I gotta say. Joni Mitchell. Okay. JC, I wore the blanket my mother's dog sleeps in. Oh gosh. Kalani? Okay. Looks like she has something painted on her boobs. Or is that the dress? I can't tell. I'm enhancing. I assume that's the dress and it's like a clear window like Power Girl has on her uniform. Alex Ogle, Joni Mitchell dressed as Dumbledore from Harry Potter. Her tattoos are fancier than this dress, I would say. I don't know. Everybody just looks weird. It's God dang it. Okay. Here, continuing with the Harry Potter theme. JEC, she has lots of tattoos. She sure does. Oh, now here's a cutie. Jessie Jo Stark. She's kind of cute. Alex Ogle, lots of tattoos and not many taboos. That's what they say. She looks happy to be there. I don't know who she is. Jessie Jo Stark. She the one country person that showed up? That's a tight-fitting dress. I'm not sure how she can move her little feet. Don't know who that is. Don't know what that... Oh, well, looks like the spaceship arrived, everybody. And Rosalila stepped off to tell us all that Earth is safe. JEC, lots of tattoos, no father figures, though. I mean, this outfit, I don't know. She's like, it's like one of the new Star Wars characters. She's the best Jedi in the world. She doesn't need a lightsaber or a man. That just reminds me of, like, I don't know, a bounty hunter or something in Star Wars. What kind of outfits are these? JEC, my mailman gave me his mailbag to wear to Grammys, y'all. Now that would be funny. She's walking along and like mail's falling out as she walks. Y'all. Oh, thanks for dressing up, Chris Lake. I mean, Jesus, dude. You can't wear pajama bottoms to the Grammys, can you? I guess you can. Talia Storm. Okay. Well, she's trying to look ostentatious, I guess. Let me take a closer look here. I guess. Seems super impractical, though, doesn't it? Like, do you have to walk that way to make sure nothing tangles on itself? Ah, again. What are you doing to me? All right. Oh, there we go. Jammy guy. Okay. Gotta stop enhancing. JC, Scumbag Steve over here. Drag Queen Storytime Hour over here. Oh, here's your standard cowboy, Charlie Crockett. Yeehaw! Dude, you wandered into the wrong awards. The CMAs are over there, dude. You're in the wrong place. Who is this? Ghislaine Maxwell? Diane Warren. I never heard of her. Lucas Nelson, stopping in from 1978. Good to see you. All right. Finally, some women. Rebecca Lovelaw and Megan Lovelaw. They're cute. Those are cute outfits. I guess if you were I don't know, is denim back? What is this, a craft fair? These are the hottest two chicks at a craft fair, I'll say. Alex Ogle, shouldn't it be Alec Baldwin as the gun-toting cowboy? Of course. But this is the Grammys. He doesn't sing. Don't give Alec any ideas. I mean, they're probably the two cutest girls at this thing, I would say. Oh, Margot Price. What is with the giant displays? These people are like one step away from being mummers. Do you guys know what mummers are? JEC, he lets his guns do his singing for. You guys are on fire tonight. I'm going to show you what mummers are. Mummers, Philadelphia. So if you can see these, hold on. Yeah, these are mummers. So Every year, Philadelphia throws the Mummers Parade, and these guys in crazy costumes go out and they dance around, and that's a mummer. So that's what I think they're slowly turning into at the Grammys. Alex Ogle, no Posh Spice? Is she having too hard a time preventing her family from squabbling? Yeah, there was a lot of weird articles about their family having fights. I don't know why they have to be so public. Alex Ogle, Ardent knows what mummers are. He does? Oh. JC, so mummers are like drag time story hour? Kinda, but they're drunk and they're more manly about it. And they don't tell you a story. They play ragtime music, and then they go get drunk on 2 Street. And they do the entire parade again, but since everybody in the mummers clubs are all firemen and police officers, there's no law. So people are drinking on the streets and partying like crazy. I went there once. It was nuts. Like Philadelphia, it's like any big blue city. Like you can get away with stuff, but not like on 2 Street after a mummers parade. It was lawless. I felt like, this is the way the city was back during the Revolution. Anything could happen. Alex Ogle, very different thing in Newfoundland. Oh. JEC, yeah, we have gay pride parades up here too. We don't call them mummer parades though, just gay parades. Don't worry, somebody from Philadelphia is coming to find you, JEC. I wouldn't open the door for a while. It won't be me. I'm just joking. Here's the other cow. Here's the cowgirl. Well, giddy up. We're going to need a bigger horse. I think we're going to need a bigger horse. Gloria Stefan is still around, apparently, and won a Grammy. Well, good for you, Gloria. She was big back in the 80s. She doesn't look bad for, she's got to be like in her 60s. Gayle King, Oprah's girlfriend. That's actually a nice dress. So at least somebody wore something kind of sensible. Alex Ogle, to go mummering is very different for Ardent and Newfoundland. It's about dressing so you can't be recognized and raiding each other's houses. Only the Irish Dispara could be so creepy. If you're trying to draw Ardent out, he's not here. He hasn't been here in months. So, Mustard showed up to the Grammys. Are they really out of names for musicians? I don't have a name. Oh, well, we got to call it. Let's see how many names are left. I've got Sandwich, Wrench, Dirt Pile, Mustard. Give me Mustard. I like Mustard. All right. Wouldn't you expect a guy named Mustard to always be wearing yellow? Like that would be his thing, right? Oh, why is he always wearing yellow? Oh, he's called Mustard. Oh. He's just wearing, I don't know. Looks like he's wearing those big jeans from the 90s. What were those called? Jenkos? Matt B. So apparently somebody needed to be pimped out at the Grammys. His pimp hand is very strong. He won for best pimp hand, I assume. What the? Teddy Swims. Oh, this is a guy my girlfriend made me listen to. He's all right, I guess. What the hell is he wearing, though? It looked like he got one of those, they got those things, they put the studs in your clothes, like Disco Stu got. Looks like he started studding his jeans and then got bored. Alex Ogle, they should go to Bob Mortimer for names. He's been selling cat names on Facebook. My favorite was Terry Information. That's kind of a good name for a cat. JEC, he used to wear yellow and orange, but he wanted people to start taking him seriously. Mustard, I mean. John Adams is here. Mustard Jenkos. That's it. Uh, JEC. Miley Variety. Michelle Williams. I remember her. She was in Penthouse. And apparently she sung too. What the? Minek is there with his. I don't know what this is. I was like, my eyes can't quite figure out what I'm looking at here, but good luck to you, Minek. Tyla. Okay. Tyla. She kind of looks hot and dresses okay. A little long, but. Perfume Genius. I guess they're a band. Oh, looks like Duckworth came by from the Renaissance Fair just in time for the Grammys, everybody. My lord, I'm here for my Grammy. Well, here you are, sir. Here you are, Sir Duckworth. JC, sir, you wore your corset on the outside. It does look like a corset. Alex Ogle, Minex sporting a corset to hold in his beer belly. John Adams, all these people look like One Piece One Piece villains. Yes, he is a One Piece villain. Duckworth, I finally meet you. I will have the One Piece. No, you will not. We will fight. What is this? What is this? I don't know. It's like he got halfway. It looks like the AI designed this outfit. JEC Duckworth mogging on mustard. I mean, imagine you spend your whole life trying to make music, and you finally become famous enough to go to the Grammys. You're like getting some success, and then they go, "Okay, this is what you're wearing at the Grammys," and you just look at it and go, "Why the hell am I wearing this?" You gotta wear it because they're gonna pay you a lot of money. Yeah, but I'm gonna look like an idiot. I'm gonna look like a medieval clown the jester wouldn't even make fun of. JEC, McPrince Valiant over here. It's like half of it's a dress, and the other half, yeah, it's like Prince Valiant, or I don't know who he's supposed to be. Duckworth. Why Duckworth? Makes no sense. Alex Ogle. Sir, thou doth offend mine eyes. We shall meet on the morrow to duel it out. I shall bring my stud maker. JID. Now that looks like he stole his outfit from, what was the guy's name? Oh, I can't think of his name. He was the guy who did the music video where he's sliding all over the room, but really the floor is moving. That guy. His name's like Jumanji, but it's different. Jeriquai. He looks like Jeriquai. He looks like he stole his whole I don't know, outfit. JC, but I'll look like an idiot if I wear this to the Grammys. Sir, your name is Duckworth. John Adams, McPrince Valium. Crackabound. Hi, Tony. Hi, chat. Oh, Crackabound, you got here just in time. Alex Ogle, that was Jamiroquai. Yeah, that's him. That's who he looks like. Reba McEntire somehow wandered in. Another person got lost from the CMAs. Adia Andrews. I don't know who that is. JEC, Jamiroquai. I like Jamiroquai. I like that one song anyway. For what she's wearing and her body type, I mean, that's not bad. She's a little thick, but... Slash and Megan Hodges. I don't know who that is, but I know who Slash is. He looks exactly the same. Alex Ogle. He's the Netflix Jamiroquai. Oh, right. Jamiroquai was white. I forgot. I thought he was black. JEC. Reba hasn't aged a day since the 90s. Yeah, but she kind of looked old then. Rika Tindendorf and Babyface. Well, Rika is looking pretty top heavy. I'm liking that dress. That's now the best dress out of everyone. JC, Jamiroquai has 2 good songs. Well, I definitely like the one. I don't remember a second one I liked, but maybe if I heard it, I would remember. Friday also, is Jenko back? Is everybody wearing Jenko pants again? I never really got into Jenko pants, but I think I have a pair. I have a pair of very big pants. I don't know why I bought them. Benson Boone. I don't know who that is. Here's somebody called Glack or Six Lack. He looks like he just got out of bed. Or prison. I don't know. I mean, what is he wearing? JC, just dance. Alex Ogle, Babyface looks neither like a baby, not a good guy wrestler. JC, Friday? Where's the weekend? I don't know. Madison Beer. I like the little window she's got in her dress. She's kind of cute. That's a pretty nice dress. Not sure. Are they getting married? Everybody's got like a long trail behind them. Seems like a dumb thing to wear, but... JC, thanks for dressing up, Six Lack. You're sitting next to Mustard. You got to sit next to Mustard and Duckworth now. He looks more like... To me, he looks more like a mustard. Like, that's a color of mustard. I'd be like, oh, okay, mustard. I get it. He dresses like mustard. He should be Mustard and the other guy should be Six Lack. They should just switch names. I don't think anybody will notice. Leon Bridges, here to sell you a car. So, or some shoes. I'm not sure which. But he at least dressed up. Jamie Foxx, also back from the range, or back from a season of Fallout, I guess. What the hell? I don't know why he's wearing this. JC, he looks like he should have a mustard stain on the front of that outfit he wore to the Grammys. I'm going to wait for your Jamie Foxx comeback because I know you're going to have some. JC, Django! Oh, I guess that's why he's wearing that. He's doing like a Django in a suit kind of look. I mean, if you're going to wear that, just wear the damn Django costume, I think. It's weird, right? Because you got to figure a guy like him, why is he even going to the Grammys? I guess it's just maybe he gives an award and he's just there to be seen, to make sure everybody remembers him, because he knows a lot of musicians, right? He doesn't sing. Or maybe he has an album, I don't know. Maybe he has a comedy album. I don't know. But I don't think he sings. I guess he sang when he did the Ray Charles movie. So maybe that's the reason he comes to the Grammys? Somber. JC, Ray Charles. Okay. Somber looking. I don't know what he's wearing. He's also got a window. Everybody's got a window in the front of their shirt or blouse. Ooh, hey, Lainey Wilson, looking cute. JC, he's in Kanye's Gold Digger. I don't know who Lainey Wilson is, but she's very cute. I don't know about that dress. It doesn't seem very practical unless the bottom of this comes off, but... John Adams, I'm stuck on that Duckworth guy. Life is like a hurricane. I know, right? I can't get over that Duckworth guy. Like, it takes a lot of effort to stand out in this crew at the Grammys. That guy stands way out. Holy cow, it just never ends. Haim? Did you name your band after Corey Haim? It's weird. Alex Ogle, somber and some fancy winkle pickers or the Witch King of Agmar's boots. These girls are kind of cute, I guess. Feels like a group of secretaries started a band and then quit their jobs a little too early, but won an award, so they're going to keep going for a while. EJ, no idea who that is, but she's kind of cute. It's not a bad dress. See, this is a dress I can get behind because she's not going to break her neck tripping on it. Same thing with these girls. Like, what are you going to wear that giant dress with the long trail? You're going to need a queen's escort. Oh my God. You may ask yourself, how do I wear this? You may ask yourself, why such a big suit? John Adams, Angmar. JC, Timo Grimes. Oh, nice. Nice. Wow. So let me get this straight. It's a suit, but it's a dress. But it's going to show part of your shoulder, but not the other part. And you're going to look like somebody messed up in the factory when they sewed this thing together. Sounds great. Put it on me. And a lot of these outfits look like they had to be put on the person for them to get in it. Right? Like they needed 2 assistants to get in it. JC, cubism dress. Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. I bet that's the concept behind it. It's really confusing looking, isn't it? Rel Amel. No idea. She kind of looks like something, she's wearing something Phyllis Diller would have wore back in the day. If you don't know who that is, look it up. Tiffany Berea? Don't know who that is. Miley Cyrus. Ironically, not nearly naked at the Grammys. What's going on, Miley? You too hungover to look hot for the Grammys? Okay. I guess. Guess she's in that late Madonna phase. Doesn't want to show off too much skin, and then 20 years will go by, and then she'll go the other way and be like, I'm going to be practically naked on stage now with skin tight, and I'm going to be 65 touring. Alex Ogle, Sydney Sweeney needs to start a singing career, and I'll volunteer to dress design that's basically a spray paint. I think she'd wear it. Here's Lawfay. I don't know who that is, but that's a nice dress. See, that seems sensible. She's pretty. The dress is nice. It fits her. I don't know. John Adams, this Audrey Nuns one is kind of impressive in how architected it seems. Ugly, but maybe it's trying some technical thing. Yeah, it's very strange. Bad Bunny. So here's Bad Bunny, just looks totally 100% normal. See, I think he's trying to gaslight people for the Super Bowl, because he made a bunch of noise. He was going to wear a dress at the Super Bowl, and then he backed off of it. So I think that's why he showed up looking normal. He looks like the most normal guy there, doesn't he? Suddenly he's super normal, right? Like, oh, I got backlash. I better dress normal. Brandon Lake. I guess he just brought in the cattle, thought he'd stop by. Phineas O'Connell. Looks normal. He's Billie Eilish's brother, apparently. Jelly Roll and Bunny Zoe? Bunny Zoe looking not bad for her age. I don't know who that is. Billie Eilish. I guess she's playing Wednesday in the new season of The Addams Family. What the heck is she wearing? She's such a weirdo in my view. JC, all these chicks have Alanis Morissette phenotype. Yep. Alex Ogle, the Super Bowl halftime. What degeneracy do you predict to stick it to Trump? Well, initially he said the dress, and then he backed off of it, and then Green Day's going to play. So they hate Trump, and they're going to play American Idiot and probably change the lyrics up. But I can promise you, wherever I am for the Super Bowl, with a group of people my age, nobody's paying attention to the Super Bowl. Or not the the halftime. They want the game. They don't care about the halftime show. They'll be more interested in the commercials than that halftime show. Jay, maybe that's the point. You make the halftime show so unbearable, people are like, just get to the commercials. JEC, people are saying Bad Bunny is a plant. People just don't realize it because people don't care about Latin music, so they assume he's really popular. Alex Ogle, Super Bowl, yep. John Adams, Jelly Roll being thin is the greatest twist in his wardrobe. Yeah, he looks good. Alex Ogle, Billie Eilish has Wednesday Addams with road markings applied. Yeah, she could be, I don't know, like, it's also like a schoolgirl kind of look, I guess. I guess that's the point. I don't know. She's kind of insufferable now since she got political. She got super political. Oh my God, it never stops. I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy. They're all dressed kind of normal. Don't know him. Chris Brown with bring his kid to work day, I guess. I don't know these guys. Oh wait, Pharrell Williams. I know him. Is he trying to hide? Did he bring 2 body doubles in case someone tries something at the Grammys? What? Why are they after Pharrell Williams? He sang Happy. Come on. Do Chill. I guess she wins for the longest train. Bum. Who is this? Nikki Glaser. Oh, she does not look good in that. Whoa. What the hell happened? JEC, Pusha T was in the Epstein files. Ooh. Maybe it's Pharrell Williams helping him. But Nikki Glaser looks not good in this, I would say. See, she should kept her hair down because she does not have a great face. It's not the worst face I ever saw, but she needs more hair around that face. John Adams, trash bag chic. Yeah, it doesn't look good on her at all. What were you thinking? Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Now, Hailey normally looks pretty hot. I mean, she looks good there, but why? Why did I do it? All right, I'm almost done. Every time I click back, all right, Nikki Glaser, okay. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, don't care, but they're dressed normal. JC, she died and came back, but didn't have enough time to dress for the Grammys, so she wore the body bag they had her in. Justin in a zoot suit. Lady Gaga. Oh, I'm sorry, your train isn't long enough, Lady Gaga, but we'll give you second place, and you could get Best BOA Award, I guess. Carole King she looks like she's in flip-flops. What the hell are you wearing, Carol? Don't know who that is. John Adams. That'd be an insult to zoot suits, LOL. Alex Ogle, can you right-click on the image and open in a new tab? That'll preserve where you are in the page. Thank you. Yeah, I should have done that. Jay Blavin and Valentina Ferreira. Ooh, Valentina. Wow, she is very thin, but cute. Here is Feld. What? Who is this guy? Feld, everybody. Pointing to his teeth. He looks like the DJ in a cyberpunk video game. Oh my God, Don Lemon. What are you, crazy? He's not a musician. JC, Jay Blavin Short King pulled a baddie. He sure did. JC, more like felted. Ha! Don Lemon. Wow, you really stuck it to Trump, Don, and you're going to jail maybe, but you can come to the Grammys. John Adams, what does Feld's tie say? Please make me famous. I don't know. It's got some kind of Asian lettering. Brandy Carlisle. Or Carlil? I don't know. Don Lemon. Alex Ogle says Don Lemon should be in prison fatigues. JC, Don Lemon, isn't he supposed to be in jail? Well, he was arrested, but they let him go. Who is this? Not sure. Jack Antonoff. This guy looks like he got the invitation at the last minute and just showed up in his car. Listen, I was doing Uber, but I guess I'll come to the Grammys. I can only stay a few hours, but because then I can't afford the parking. So, John Adams, Moon Runes. Halle Bailey, she looks okay, I guess. I mean, it's a nice enough dress. Paris Hilton, oh man, she looks like she had some work. JC, Jack Antonoff. Alex Ogle, Jack Antonoff looks like a Russian mafia. Paris Hilton does not. She looks like, how old is she now? I guess she might be in her 40s, but she looks kind of older. Oh, thank God. Thank God that's the end. All right. Let's move on. Whew. That was quite a ride. Quite a ride. Sequel confirmed for Sam Raimi's Darkman. Kinda psyched. John Adams, that dude in the red velvet is a final boss in a video game adaptation. Paris is 44. She looks every day 44. I don't know. She looks like she had work done. But I could see a sequel to Darkman, I guess. A revival of Darkman. Maybe. JC, Darkman is fun. I watched it for the first time a few months ago. Yeah, I really liked the first one. I hear the, sequels are okay. Watchable, at least. JC should get Liam Neeson back for the new Darkman. Nah, he's way too old. But it'd be cool to see him, do an appearance as somebody who dies or whatever. Or, he could be Darkman's mentor. Would be cool. I don't think Darkman had a mentor. But, somebody the older guy who helps him. Paramount dumps Ren and Stimpy reboot, not helped by disastrous leaks. So this is a weird story. I talked about this on Hollywoke Hot Take yesterday. Apparently they rebooted Ren and Stimpy. I don't think John Kay or anybody from the old show's involved. But I'm not sure. JEC, he could be the villain. Yeah. And then the entire show leaked online. And then they got a really bad reaction. And then they showed it in France. Apparently showed some of the episodes at least. And just, it didn't, it just apparently felt sanitized. So, it's, sounds like it wasn't any good and they shelved it. Why would you reboot this without John Kay and the way he did it? There's only one way you could do Ren and Stimpy and make it any good. You have to get that maniac back to do it. I mean, that's the only way. But Alex Ogle, reboot Ren and Stimpy? There's no way modern writers could be as edgy as the original. Yeah, no way. No way. And I had a date with a girl who claimed she had dated John Kay or worked for him. I'm not sure which. Because she didn't seem to be too happy about it. And then ended up like saying, yeah, we can't go out. You remind me too much of him. And I was like, what? Like I had this nice date and I thought, oh, this is going well. And then she's just like, at the end of the date, she like put the kibosh on it. Captain America writer Chip Zdarsky says Marvel offices have become, get this, very siloed off because there hasn't been a Bendis. What he means, apparently, JEC, Ren and Stimpy is nothing without John Kay, and he was always way past his prime and not worth the headache. How old was she when she dated him? See, I don't know that. She was pretty young. I mean, this is a long time ago. This is like, God, it had to be like 30 years ago. And she was in her 20s, and I was maybe in my early 30s. And we only had one date. But, you know, she didn't give me any details, and then that was it. JC, he likes him young. Yeah, that's why I don't think they're going to bring him back. But dipping into the Marvel stuff, apparently Chip Zdarsky thinks the problem is there's not a Brian Michael Bendis to unite the Marvel crew underneath a single banner for their various crossovers. See, that's the problem at Marvel Comics. It's not, say, the price of comics, which, in case you don't know, the floppy comics are about, I think they're about $5 or $6 a pop now. JEC, you see the John Kay documentary about it? It's pretty good. Used to be on YouTube. JEC, I know Chip Zdarsky. Ah, interesting. But I think Marvel has a lot of problems beyond just the fact there's no Brian Bendis there. I think the major problem at Marvel is the politics are destroying everything. You know, the only attention Marvel gets is bad attention. It's like a spoiled child or something, in my view. JC, he's a Toronto guy. Oh, neat. So, I don't know what they expect, honestly. That, you know, you could get a guy, I guess you could get Bendis back himself, but what good would that do exactly? I mean, I guess they would listen to him, maybe? Would they listen to him if he said, oh, back off all the friggin' politics? JC, Bendis leaving was a net positive, honestly. LOL. Yeah, I mean, like, Bendis in the old days, he had some cool ideas. And when I mean the old days, I mean his, like, indie stuff was pretty good. But the problem with Marvel, I think, goes way beyond, like, well, we don't have a Bendis. I mean, you know, you had Sal Buscema died. Comics are expensive. It's full of politics. Comic book stores are dying. I had a comic book store here go out of business, and I loved those guys. They were great to me, and they seemingly were doing well. And within a month, I had an event there, and I had to postpone it because I got sick. And within a month, they were closed, and it was just completely sudden. Like, boom, that was it. JC, no one has cared about Bendis books since the early 2010s. I think that's mostly true. John Adams, sadly, all American comics seem to be about superheroes, really limiting the section of possible stories. That's another major problem. But unfortunately, that's about 10th on the problem of American comics. JC, the Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre in stores February 18th. Look for JEC's comic, February 18th. The Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre. The Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre. That sounds cool. John Adams, the heavy metal magazine has rebooted, though, which is refreshing. Well, I hope they'll bring. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to go to Europe and get the guys there to do it because, there are very few local guys to me, and you had a brief shining moment when guys on. You had the Ripperverse, who's still going on. I'm still getting emails from the Ripperverse. He seems to be doing Hanging On. EVS seems to have completely self-destructed. But I don't follow his stuff anymore, so I don't really know. JEC put a link for the trailer, so check that out. Can I play the trailer? Let's see. Do I have any more iced tea? Oh, that's better. Ooh, so dry in here. For video games, UK approves $900 million class action lawsuit alleging Valve's 30% Steam share revenue is excessive and unfair to players. It seems like the UK government's just out of control. JC, yes, you can play it. It's a minute long. As long as it doesn't have any music in it, I think I'm okay. Oh, hey, hold on. Hold on. I'll start at the beginning. Can I start over? I can't start over. Oh, wait, I can. Okay, I'm going to stop it a couple of times because it did have some music in it, and I don't know if it'll be YouTube approved. And more hippos. It sounds pretty good. Let me give you an upvote. Ooh, I like her. She looks great. Oops. She looks great. That's pretty good. As they slog their way through hordes of drag-addled hippos to take down the world's most it looks pretty good. Nefarious drug lord, Yang's More Disco. Yang's More Disco? Nice. Pre-orders close on January 26th. All right. So we can get this soonish. Madcave.com. That's true. It's true. All right. Hopefully I don't get flagged for that one. Playing music. Looks good though. Looks sweet. Oh, it's in the public domain? Sorry, I got paranoid. John Adams, did the Ripperverse improve from your initial reviews? Sorry for the bullying you into reviewing it them years ago. No, it was fine. I don't know. No, sorry, I had something on my nose. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. What the? I hope I didn't just, hold on. Okay. Sorry, I hope there wasn't something hanging there all that time. So the Ripperverse, they did get Chuck Dixon to do more books. They got one of my favorites, Mike Barron, to do a book. But that's not really the issue. For me, the issue is the price of the books. Like, I just can't afford these books. I mean, $30 a pop, $20 a pop for a book. They might be good or okay, but that's just too much money. If I'm going to pay $30 for a book, like I just bought a book, like a prose book, for research. It's called The Lost Ways, and it's got like every frontier pioneer thing you could possibly think of, right? It shows you how to make food. It shows you how to like start a fire and build like a bellows and build all these things that frontiersmen made. And I got it because in the Pineys, I sometimes flash back to the past and I wanted information on doing stuff like that. And I just think it's a handy book to have if there's an apocalypse and I need to, like, I don't know, build something from scratch to keep me alive. Maybe I have a shot at it. But that didn't cost, I mean, that cost me about, I think it cost me less than $30. Meanwhile, like my books, the Pineys, they only cost $10, and you get a whole book. So, comic books, I mean, it's just too expensive. To me, it's just not worth it. Now, maybe if it's a graphic novel, I'll pay, you know, depending on how many pages it is. Like, I have a graphic novel called Lester Crenshaw is Dead. It's $15. It's pretty big. It's almost 100 pages. I think it clocks out at 96. It's black and white. I think it's a good deal, ish. I mean, I tried to keep the price low. I mean, now you're talking $30 when you add the shipping and everything. It's kind of a lot, man. I don't know. To me, a comic for $5 is too much. I used to buy comics at $3. And $3 I thought was too much. I wanted them at $2. Now it's like $5. I'm gonna buy comics every week. What are you, crazy? I mean, I'm broke anyway. I can't afford the luxury of buying comic books anymore. But it's just too much. So I think that's a bigger problem than material. Like, he can milk his audience because he has a YouTube audience. And I don't mean milk like he's exploiting them, but they like him, they support him, they'll pay that extra money. But he would be better off trying to get the books cheaper, but it may be impossible to do that with what he's doing. He's got to pay artists, and he's set a bar very high because he made a lot of money on his Kickstarter or whatnot. I can't bring myself to pay that kind of money for comics. That's not the way I grew up with comics. So for other people, maybe that's okay. In terms of the story, I mean, JEC's got a story that I want to read. Like, that's the kind of story I like to read. The Florida hippopotamus cocaine massacre. That's my kind of story. Another superhero book, I mean, if you have it, I might read it, but I'm not going to go out of my way. So if these guys did what I believe Alex just said, I mean, why don't you do something other than superheroes? Then you could do something, right? I mean, you could do a sci-fi comic, or you could do a crime comic or whatever. Alex Ogle, that trailer promises a lot, JEC, and there better be lots of forklifts. JEC, it's public domain music. That's good, so I'm okay. JEC, February 18th, the first printing is sold out already, apparently. All right. Good for you. Congratulations. John Adams, the art looks better than the initial Invincible chapters. It does look good. I like that look. It's that kind of, I don't know how you describe it. Looks a bit old school, like it's a little washed out, but like you're doing that on purpose, if you know what I'm saying. JEC, Ripperverse did not improve. EVS has started mostly doing draw streams, trying to get his books done finally. Yeah, like, that's the problem with EVS. He stopped doing his books, I think. Alex Ogle, Hollywoke booger time. I mean, I don't know what was happening there. Now I'm paranoid. I was at an event before this, eating chili and playing Mexican Trains. Now I'm paranoid I had something hanging off my nose all that time. JEC, I mean, if it's a full story, 100 pages or so, basically a trade paperback for 20 or 30 bucks. Yeah, but see, like, his were really nice format, but it was about, I think his were like 48 pages. That seems too short. 100 pages, yeah, I could almost pay that. John Adams, I gave up on EVS. His Cyberfrog ideas seem neat, but the gap is too long. JC, I'll send you a preview of PDF to review when it comes out. Oh, thank you. That sounds like fun. I'd totally read that. Oh, I may have to get another drink. Hold on. Let's get to the next thing. Hollywood Reporter. All right, we did that. Chappelle Rowan's naked dress at the Grammy shocks social media. Yeah, I may get flagged for that thing. Showing her boobies. I mean, I want more boobies in movies. Not at the Grammys. Grammys host Trevor Noah mocks Trump's butt and Bezos' wedding and monologue. Oh, that ought to show those guys. Oh, those billionaires. They're seeing red tonight. Heated rivalry star Connor Story sets Saturday Night Live debut. JC, I mean, EVS probably is making comics, takes a ton of time to produce, and he streams for 6 hours a day and has a family with a special needs daughter on top of that, too. I was hearing all sorts of crazy rumors about him before I just jettisoned and said, forget this. I don't know how true any of them are. But I really do think his streaming got, he did really well with his streaming for a while, and then it seemed to go to his head, and he kind of went off on a weird tangent. I don't know why. It felt like he was attacking other comic guys, and that felt like it grinded against his brand. And he shouldn't have, I don't think he should have done that. But JC, the aggressively unfunny Trevor Noah hosts the Grammys. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But have you seen this heated rivalry thing, or do you know what it is? So heated rivalry is getting all this press, mainly in these sorts of trades, because it's, and I guess it's getting ratings, but it's two gay hockey star guys. So that's like the plot of the story, I guess. I think it's a series, or it might be a movie. It's two gay hockey stars who are on different teams. Heated rivalry. Get it? It's gay. Super gay. And apparently it's popular enough that one of the stars is hosting Saturday Night Live. So I guess there's going to be a hilarious gay hockey sketch. Very strange. Very strange indeed. There was another story this week about Kenan Thompson, who I didn't realize this. He's been on the SNL show since 2005 now? 20 years? And he's finally thinking about leaving? Because they just announced he's doing another movie with the other guy from Good Burger. I forget the other guy's name. Called Kenan and So-and-So Meet Frankenstein, which sounds kind of funny, and it's going to be like a funny kids movie. But I don't know if he's got one foot out because they're getting ready to can him, or he's got one foot out because he's like, oh, I hope this movie does well so I can leave Saturday Night Live. It's kind of hard to tell. JEC, EVS turned his whole output into feuding with Eric July, which has gotten old and everyone is sick of it, and he burned his reputation to the ground. Yeah, that's what I feel like. JEC, I just heard someone talking about heated rivalry. Are you being serious, or you're talking about me? JEC, token black guy on SNL is cushy good. I would never leave SNL if I were him. I would never leave it. Just make movies on the side. They don't work the entire year. Just take breaks. Just keep coming back. I'm sure they'll put him in more and more sketches since he's the oldest guy on the show. JEC, cushy gig. He has a cushy gig. Well, it's not that cushy. It is kind of some work. It's a little frantic during the week and with rehearsals and whatnot, but he's pretty good on it. I'll say that. I don't like the show anymore, but I'll say that what I've seen of him is passable. He has his bits, and he's one of those guys that doesn't try. He stays in his lane and lets the other actors, have their moments too. There's a lot of desperation, I think, now on the show where the various cast members are trying to get over on each other. It's a lot of competition behind stage. I've heard from my friend who was an intern on Saturday Night Live back in the 90s. And he told me crazy stories how they're just fighting over minutes on the show. They're fighting over time on the show. As you can imagine, it's very competitive. JEC, they brought him to replace Tracy Morgan, and that somehow turned into a 21-year run. Stays in his lane, token black guy. I miss Tracy Morgan. He was pretty funny. But he wasn't as funny. Like, everybody who comes on to SNL, though, is funnier after they leave now. Like, Chris Rock on SNL, I was like, this guy. Then the minute he leaves SNL, I'm like, holy crap, this guy is funny. Same thing with Tracy Morgan. Like, he was okay on the show, and then he left the show, and I was like, holy crap, this guy's hilarious. The John Rambo movie, prequel, normally I would be like completely uninterested in this, but the guy who directed Sisu is directing this, so it's going to be badass. It's going to be 100% badass. So I'm down for the John Rambo prequel. And if you're looking for the next Fast and Furious movie, it's coming in spring of 2028. I am not. All right, let me go get a drink real quick because I'm gagging on my own phlegm here. One sec. Oh, sorry about that. I had to take a break. JEC, wasn't the last Fast and Furious movie supposed to be the last one? No, this one, it's going to be like a 2-part last movie or something like that. John Adams, I mixed Chris Rock up with Chris Tucker. JEC, I missed Jones' casual racism. For those of you who have never tuned into the live stream, that's my dog, Joan. She's on the floor, and I didn't want to disturb her. She's kind of comfy. She had a rough weekend. Guest dog was here. Guest dog is pretty good to Joan. She hasn't, but she's 3 times the size of Joan, and Joan's a little intimidated, so she's afraid to come out of my office when guest dog is here. And she's also afraid to go out into the yard and go to the bathroom unless guest dog is done going to the bathroom, and then I let Joan out, and then she'll go. It's a whole thing here. I feel like I'm Ozzy Osbourne in the You remember Ozzy in the Osbournes was always picking up dog poop, but that's me. John Adams, do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? JC, Jones' racism is based. Jones' racism, I don't know. I've had to talk to her trainer several times for some of her comments, and it's been a very uncomfortable conversation. Bleeding Fool. Netflix bets big on live-action Gundam with Sydney Sweeney. Unless that Gundam robot has a window where her boobs are, I don't know why they put Sydney Sweeney in it, but okay. Seems like a weird choice. We got the hottest girl in Hollywood. What movie you want to put her in? Let's put her in the Gundam movie. She'll be in a robot suit the entire time. That sounds genius. What else you got? Well, it's got this movie, Christie. We'll make her gain 30 pounds and get punched in the face. I love it. Can you give her a butch haircut too? Oh, yeah, we can. What do you got next? Well, there's a movie called Dark. What is it? Well, we turn off the lights for 90 minutes and Sydney Sweeney does her voice. But then we, modify it so it doesn't sound like her voice. It doesn't sound sexy. It sounds all rough, like it's a man. What are you doing? When does Sydney Sweeney Bikini Girl, the movie, begin? That's a movie everybody wants to see. I mean, yeah, Gundam. Yeah, people, you could put anybody in Gundam. It doesn't matter. The fans of Gundam are going to go see it. The anime fans are unstoppable. Let's be honest. They want what they want. I don't hold it against them. John Adams, afraid to be let out of the block to visit the prison yard? Joan not handling the incarcerated life well. Actually, she doesn't handle the snow well because the snow here, for those of you who don't know, in South Jersey, I know the Canadians will laugh at me, but we got 8 inches, which was a lot to begin with, but then it froze and we got the cold snap, so none of the snow has melted. It's all frozen ice. And Joan is not used to that, as I am not. I haven't been used to this since the 70s. We haven't gotten snow like this since the 70s. So Joan goes out in the yard and she's sniffing around looking for a spot to go to the bathroom. So she's looking for a previous spot or some smell she wants to pee on, and she can't find anything because it's just all ice. So she's walking around slipping, and I'm worried about the owls that will swoop down and eat poor Joan. And I'm standing out there going, Joan, just pee anywhere. It doesn't matter. And she just keeps walking around. And eventually she finds like a leaf that she can kind of smell and pees on it. And then she comes in. John Adams, I want a Gundam with huge assets. JC, anime fans want anime. They don't want live action. Well, that's another point too. But I think the anime fans, at least most of them, will at least see the first Gundam movie, live action. Clint Miller's here. Ice, ice, baby, indeed. JEC, we got 10 inches. It's like the 3rd or 4th big dump this year. People are pretty worn down digging everything out again and again at this point. Yeah, though, I mean, for me, we hadn't gotten snow like this in like 30 years. And the time we got it, we got 2 feet, and then like 3 days later, we got another 2 feet. And that was ridiculous. But most of that melted away within a week. So we haven't had, it's been ages since we had snow on the ground this long, and it froze. Like, we had sub-zero temperatures here, which is very unusual for South Jersey. So my heater's cranking nonstop. It's been down in the single digits for like a solid week. We're finally going to get up above freezing this week. Finally. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope some of the snow melts. JEC, I don't know the Gundam fandom is that big these days. Oh, really? John Adams, the Battle Angel Alita movie was kind of disappointing for us manga fans. They can't just adapt the thing faithfully. Clint Miller at JEC, Amber asked if they're man inches or woman inches. Those are man inches? JEC, last year our winter was pretty mild right up until February. Then we got hammered for a month straight, but that was it. Yeah, last year we hardly had any snow at all. Like, we had a dusting one time, and I think that was it. Maybe we got a snow for like one day and it melted the next day. Last year, I think it was last year in February, we hit 75 degrees like early in the month. I wore shorts. That's how hot it was. It went back down and then eventually leveled out to where it was supposed to be in March, but it was, we've been blessed with very mild winters, I'm going to say, for about the last 20 years or so. There's one or two winters in there that weren't as mild, but overall, almost no snow here. And that started, about 15 years ago. John Adams, although the Watchmen movie 15 years ago was pretty close. Oh, I think I skipped one. No, that was it. Yeah, the Watchmen movie was pretty good, I think, as an adaptation, except for like one scene. Alex Ogle, I propose an alternate strategy for Sweeney in the Gundam film. When her character is on screen, they only film her boobs. What do you think, Sweeney? Clint Miller, Amber declares 10 man inches must be only 4 inches. Ha 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 ha, Amber. John Adams, boobs. Boob emoji. Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Minnesota, the art of the protest flop. So if you didn't know, Bruce Springsteen, who's gotten really political of late, decided to make a song called the Streets of Minnesota, basically blasting ICE agents and playing in Minneapolis. So he is, I don't know where he is. He put out his biopic or movie or whatever you want to call it. It didn't really seem to do well. Then he does this. It feels very desperate. JEC, it was like 30 to 60 centimeters, which is like 10 to 20 inches. Can Taika Waititi be trusted after promising to piss off Star Wars fans? Absolutely not. I wouldn't trust him to make a movie. I wouldn't hire him. Now, is he talented? 100% he is. When he wants to be talented, apparently. Jojo Rabbit's a great movie. There's no denying it. It's really good. But he should... the only thing I could think of is success ruined Taika Waititi. Like, he's been too successful for too long. He said some stupid things, and he should humble himself, come back to the fan base, and apologize. Clint Miller, gotcha. Until he apologizes to the fan base, a lot of these people need to apologize. Bruce Springsteen should apologize. He shouldn't be, saying political stuff on stage. If you want to make a stupid song called Streets of Minnesota, go ahead. Just make the song. Let the song speak for you if it's good. But, it's embarrassing. It just feels like you just slapped it together like, oh, look, I'm current. To me. John Adams, I'm dreading, his future Dread movie direction. Yeah. You get a great Carl Urban Dread movie. Why wouldn't you just do a sequel? Why wouldn't you just immediately put it... Say, okay, yeah, this was good. Let's do another one. Let's crank them out. So they don't know what's good. I mean, they just don't know what's good. They don't know what's good. They don't know. They look at numbers and that. Alex Ogle, we've had 2 to 3 weeks of less than 2-inch snowfalls and freezes that have added up to far too much. Reminds me of when a friend of mine calculated the yardage of a woman's takes in an average session. For me, though, when I was a kid in the 70s, we would get snow late October, early November, and it would stay on the ground and accumulate till about March. And then it would thaw out and it would go away, and that would be it. So we would build snow forts and stuff, and they would freeze solid. And eventually, there would be so much ice out in the street and in the road, if you didn't shovel it, everybody would stay in mostly for the winter. Or if you go out, you'd go out, maybe you go out with your friends sledding or something. But like, I don't know. And they didn't clear the streets as well back then. People still went out and did things they needed to do, but it was, the idea was, well, you know, you don't go out unless you had to. These days, people are insane. They drive SUVs, they think they're indestructible and that they'll stop on a dime. There's been so many accidents around here, I cannot tell you. People just skidding into things because they don't know. I had a person on my street park so close to my driveway, I wanted to smack the car on the way out because he gave me almost no room to get out. John Adams, Carl Urban in a movie following the Cursed Earth story would have been cool. Yeah, I would have seen every Carl Urban Dread movie. No problem. Like, after that movie, I was like, this is awesome. Let's see more. No. Hollywood just said, nah. Now we got it right. Oh, now we need another guy to reinterpret it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The next guy, he won't do the same thing. He'll make it funny. Which is the exact wrong move for Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd is not supposed to be intentionally funny. He's not supposed to be a funny character. There are funny moments in it. But, yeah, it's just Dredd murdering criminals left and right. It's over. Netflix won, Paramount lost, and Warner Brothers is the prize. I'm going to say it's not over. The deal isn't... It has to get past the SEC in the United States, which is the only real country. You know, they're also going to Europe to try to stir problems up for them. I don't think that matters. If the United States approves it, it's a done deal. But I don't know if Trump wants it approved. He might jam them up enough that you know, it's not going to happen. Or the Trump admin will say, we got too much going on. We don't have time for this fight. Just let him have it. John Adams. Dredd can be funny, but needs to be gritty. Yeah. But, like, he's not funny. Like, he might do something that you'll laugh at, but it's not because Dredd's trying to be funny, right? JC, I don't think Dredd made money in the theaters, and they never made a sequel. I saw it in an empty theater when it came out. Well, let's check. I think we checked before. You may be right on this. JC, Trump is pretty petty enough to hold the deal up for 3 more years. Possibly. John Adams, the Dredd movie also tried 3D in that awkward post-Avatar 1 phase that tech died again. Screw it. I'm just going to ask. You know what? I'll ask Grok. I trust Grok more than this one. Grok, did the Dredd movie with Carl Urban make a profit? I think we asked this before, and you may be right on this. No, the 2012 film, I guess that's why, had a production budget of around $45 million. Some sources report it as high as 50, and the worldwide box office is 41. Oh, that is really not making the money. Yeah, sounds like you're right there, JEC again. Alex Ogle, look up Kitchener Highway crash on Google. Don't worry, there are no graphic shots. Lack of snow clearing turned a highway elevated ramp into a ski jump for 2 cars. All right. Kitchener Highway crash. Is there video of this? 2 vehicles launch off Highway 8 flyover and 1 driver dead. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah, I could see. Holy shoot. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I could see. You could see right here. He'd go right over that. I bet that's like a rock. I bet my car would totally go over that. 100%. If I was going too fast and hit that curve. Because my car's light enough that, it wouldn't sink down into the snow. Jesus. Alex Ogle, speed was a factor, but local municipalities have been delinquent in clearing snow this year. Oh no. JEC, the 3D in Dread actually worked well because they worked it into the story. They had a special drug that would make everything trippy and the 3D would kick in. I think I know that turnoff. Huh. John Adams, if I remember right, the drug slowed the effect of time down by a factor of 100. Lots of cool effects you could do with that. That's a shame. It's a shame we won't get another Dread movie with Carl Urban. All right. Let us go to Deadline. More on the Grammys. Don't care. Bad Bunny gets a standing ovation at the Grammys with a powerful speech. Ice out. We're not animals. We are Americans. See, you seem to not understand the concept of ICE. They're not after Americans. They're after people, foreigners, who came to this country illegally. And like every other country in the world, you can't tolerate that. You have to come to this country legally. If you came illegally, you have to do something about it. And if you've been here 20 years, you probably should have talked to an immigration attorney before now. JEC, yes, the drug was called slow-mo. So the idea that anyone who's here legally is in danger is just not true. They're just not true. Now, you might have to show your ID or your green card or whatever, because they are going after people who are illegal aliens. And the legal aliens might overlap in some places in this country with the legal aliens, but typically these guys got criminal records a mile long, so I don't care. If you got a criminal record, you've committed a bunch of crimes here, get the hell out. And it's not like we're saying every illegal alien here has committed more crimes. Although if you came to this country illegally, you are technically a criminal. But if you've been here 20 years and you have a life and a family and kids and whatever, okay, well, you should have contacted an immigration attorney by now. Or you should have gotten out, applied for residency immediately, and then gotten back in. But I guess no one's gotten the message yet. Or, I mean, it's just more Hollywood pandering. John Adams, if we really wanted to kill the IP, they'd contact Henry Cavill as a judge. Or they'd contract Henry Cavill as a judge? He wouldn't be bad. He's got the chin for it. But he's gonna ruin the Space Marines in Warhammer 40K. The Devil Wears Prada 2 trailer sees Andy step in as Runway's newest features editor, much to Emily's chagrin. Yes, ladies, you're going to get The Devil Wears Prada 2 because you're the only audience that Hollywood cares about. I guess. That and kids. And we men could go watch old movies, I guess. Alex Ogle, the best bit about Dread 2012 was the directors were fans of Matt Berry, What We Do in the Shadows, and you can hear the theme tune to the comedy series Snuffbox playing in certain scenes. Oh, no way. Matt Berry's the best. Alex Ogle, oh, and the Olivia Thurman is hot, hot, hot. Donald Trump announces plans to close Kennedy Center for 2 years and says it's due to renovations. Okay. All right. I'm fine with that. Everybody's canceling their show anyway. Seems like a good time to do the renovations. I mean, if the talent doesn't want to play it. Nate Bargatze wins his first comedy album Grammy for Netflix. Your friend, Nate Bargatze. So he released a comedy album based on his Netflix show, I guess. Is that really an album? I guess. Anybody listen to Nate Bargatze? I only saw him in the trailer. I guess he's a stand-up guy. Don't really know him. John Adams. Not that Cavill is bad, but he seems to be bad luck charm through no fault of his own. Yeah, they really screwed him on The Witcher. I mean, here was a guy who absolutely loved the IP he was in, did all the research, and the showrunners couldn't treat him with more. I mean, they just treated him with contempt, in my view. Because I think what they wanted all along was an actor who would, okay, we're going to slowly emasculate the Witcher until all the female characters are the boss and he's just the goofy sidekick that they push around and tell him how wrong he is. I think that's what they wanted. They didn't want to actually do the Witcher. They wanted to, deconstruct the Witcher. Like they've done with every other male character in literature and comics and video games and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just happens every time. I mean, Indiana Jones was the most blatant example, but with The Witcher, they at least were doing it as a slow process. But when your lead actor is like, yeah, I don't really want to do that, that's a real problem for them. Especially when he goes on interviews and talks about how much he loves the books and the video game. So I think Henry is a victim of the system currently in Hollywood. And God bless him. I don't know Henry Cavill's politics at all. And that's why I like him too. Even though I didn't like Superman. I didn't like him as Superman. I didn't think he fit. But, I mean, he wasn't bad. He had terrible scripts. Terrible scripts for Superman. Yeah, it's a shame. And I don't, the Warhammer 40K stuff sounds like it's going to be a disaster. Again, I recommend Space King. All hail Space King. Grammys. Don't care. John Adams, I'm kind of happy Amazon's Conan idea failed to get off the ground. I love Conan, but I don't trust them with it. Yeah, same thing with 007. I don't want to see them succeed in doing James Bond again. I hope they completely failed and they never announce it. They never go into production. Elon Musk slams Nolan's Odysee casting. Chris Nolan has lost his integrity. I mean, look, he had a choice to make. And the choice could be you work and you make millions of dollars and the studio says you got to do the DEI thing so you qualify for an Oscar because we want an Oscar and that's what we're expecting from you. The other choice is to walk away and not get millions of dollars. It's easy to criticize, but he's in the system. If he says no, his career starts a downward path. He may never recover. He wants his millions of dollars. I mean, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to be remembered that way as the guy who wokeified the Odysee, but it's about the millions of dollars. Do you want your $15 million mansion in Malibu or not? Because if you don't want it, there's plenty of people who will take it from you. That's the way I see it. Alex Ogle, although searching on Google, Olivia Thirlby, I got the name wrong, looks like an uncomfortable mix of Amber Heard and Elliot Page. Let's see what she's looking like these days. Olivia. Really? Yeah, kind of a mixed bag. Oh, hey. Sorry, boobies. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I had to scroll away. Ah, nuts. Keep going back to the mummers. Um, she's pretty cute, I guess. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, is back in theaters for 35th anniversary if you're interested. Someone tell Razor Fist. This week, Giancarlo Esposito actually called for open revolution, a civil war in the streets. And he actually said something like, some of us will die, but I'm okay with that. Something words to that effect, I'm paraphrasing. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen a celebrity say. Like, look, I get it, Leonardo DiCaprio gets up. Someone new has entered the chat. ST4. I'll call you ST. Hi, ST. Opinions on the White Lotus. Not really interested in it. I know what it is. It looks like one of those shows that's specifically designed to get the audience to talk about it. And they're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing it off a cliff, and it'll get more and more ridiculous until people are sick of it. That's my opinion on the White Lotus. I have no interest in it. So I have been reviewing Fallout, though, which does star Walter Goggins, who was on the White Lotus. John Adams, we learned about sticking to your guns and losing millions with Coppola and Megalopolis. That's true. So you could lose the money either way. What's the answer? There is no good answer. To me, if I was in Nolan's position, maybe you want to look at making smaller movies you have more control over. Maybe you want to make the Odyssey with a cast of unknowns. But it's a big studio movie, probably only has so much control. But Giancarlo Esposito's, it's pretty crazy. So, also Tatiana Maslany also joined Esposito in protest, slamming Israel and ICE. These guys can't get enough, This week, it's ICE. It's all ICE, ICE, ICE. Tatiana missed the memo. The Gaza war's over, essentially. She's still on that, criticizing Israel. Before that, it was climate change. Before that, I don't even remember. It's just been one event after another. Like, the collectivists just absorb it, and they change the chip in their brain, and they go out like the NPCs they are. John Adam Esposito was Farquaad posting. Interesting way to put it. It's just crazy that you would say something like that about people dying and be like, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, a few people will die. Are you nuts, dude? Why would you say that as a rich, visible human being in the world? That's an insane thing to just put that out there like, oh yeah, it might be me. What? Dude, don't say those things. You don't want to say those things in public. Number one, there are lots of crazy people. You definitely don't want them to pick up on that, number one. Number two, it's just like, the Soviets during the Russian Revolution, they did terrible things to the bourgeoisie, which you would be a member of now, being rich. The bourgeoisie did not fare well under the Soviets. You would go right to the gulag. That's the thing about these people. They say these things. They have no understanding of what would happen to them. They would lose everything, and they would go to the gulag. They wouldn't just lose their money. See, they think, well, they'll take some of my money. No, you would lose it all. and they would kill you. They just won't do it, now. They'll do it when they get into power. Because then they'll be doing it to everybody. You'll just be at the top of the list. Like me, I'll be poor still, probably. Now, they might get me when they see some of my videos. But, they'll let a local guy take care of me. You, they'll make it. You can kiss their AA all you want. They ain't gonna stop if they get into power, which you would never, ever, ever want. Because you can see the authoritarians taking over Los Angeles and Minnesota. What's the first thing they do? What's the first thing Antifa does? They mob the streets, and these people who say, "Oh, no wall." What do? They put up a big wall in the street. What's the next thing they do? Oh, you want to pass with your car down the street where you live? Who are you? And then they demand to know who you are. What does that sound like exactly? Does that sound like a bunch of free people who just want everybody to live in harmony? No, they're authoritarians. You're going to agree with everything they say, maybe even give up your car and everything you own. These people don't have any respect for the rule of law or property. I think all these celebrities think, no, I supported them, I'll be fine. You will not be fine if these people ever get into power. Fortunately for you, they will not. John Adams, quote, "Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make." Yeah. JC, Gus from Breaking Bad vibes. Yeah. And also, too, he plays a South American dictator on some island in Far Cry, a video game. Alex Ogle, such a shame. I'm nearing the end of my Christmas bottle of... Oh, wow, this is going to be tough to pronounce. Bruchadich? How will Tony pronounce that? I did it. Kind of. John Leguizamo tells fans not to watch Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey he stars in. Because if you're a fan of Trump, he doesn't want you to go see the movie. 80 million people he just told not to go see the movie. Imagine hiring a guy to be in your movie who maybe could pass for Greek. I don't think so. And then he tells everybody, oh, don't go see the movie. Alex Ogle. Bruck laddie. Yeah, that's really a dumb move. Dumb move, I say. And this is another problem with DEI hires. It makes people entitled. And they can say stuff like this. What are you going to do? Fire him? You can't fire him or you'll be racist. So I think Christopher Nolan probably got either forced DEI or he accepted it. He said, okay, it doesn't matter. I'll just get good actors and it doesn't matter what race they are. Yeah, it kind of doesn't work. Kind of doesn't work to have the Rainbow Coalition being in your movie. Like, it could work if they were all, like, say you did a black version of the Odyssey, right? It's just, it's the Odyssey, but just everybody's black. Then it kind of all works. Because, even though it's supposed to be Greece, it's like, well, they're all the same. So they're all from the same country. So it all looks like a homogenous unit. Or if you did the Latino version of it or whatever. But really, you should be hiring people that can pass for Greek. Like Leguizamo, maybe he could pass for Greek. But they hired some rapper to be in it. I forget which one. He's in one of the early trailers, and it's just like, dude, you hired a rapper? That doesn't seem like a good thing for a classic movie like The Odyssey. But we'll see. I'm out. James Gunn says no to Robert Pattinson as DCU Batman. I'm out. James Gunn defends Christina Hodson, writer of DCU's Batman. Christina Hodson, let me tell you some of her credits. All right. So she is the writer of Fast Forever, which I believe is the Fast and Furious thing. Batgirl, the movie that apparently is so bad they won't release it. The Flash, that movie with Ezra Miller. Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. So there you go with that. Bumblebee, Unforgettable, and Shut In. So that's quite a litany of writing credits to write the Batman. Yeah, I have zero confidence in her to write a good Batman movie. Like zero, beyond zero. All right, let's go to Breitbart. Left Gone Wild, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu claims every single human on Earth has the legal right to come to the U.S. This is Boston. Boston's mayor. It's going to be another S show there, I assume. I think the only reason they don't have as many problems as Boston is probably because it's too cold. It's too cold to protest, too cold to live on the street most of the time. John Adams, DC can't stop stepping on their junk since The Dark Knight. Yeah, I know. It's sad. A Democrat temporarily flips the deep red Texas Senate district. Trump won in a low turnout special election. Not a good sign. The federal judge denies Minnesota motion to end immigration surge. So that's a bit of a good news. Entertainment, more on Melania. Singer Roseanne Cash says defund ICE, prosecute them. See, this is where it gets really crazy. Like, it's one thing to say, I'm against ICE, I would like to defund them, I'm going to vote for people who defund them. I want policies that have an open border. I mean, it's still kind of insane, but you're not doing it in an insane way. When you say prosecute ICE, you're really asking for a pushback of epic proportion. So you're going to ask your state government and then possibly your federal government in the future to prosecute guys you hired under the federal government to do a job. If that won't completely demoralize the police and the army, I don't know what will. Because then you would have a situation in which no one's coming to protect you. Like, literally no one would protect you. If you think the cops will come to your house and protect you from anything, if you actually prosecuted a guy for arresting a criminal who's in this country illegally, then I don't know what to tell you. This is like suicidal empathy writ large. Alex Ogle, I thought it was pronounced Bawashton, although someone should dub Ben Bankas having to say Boston in a thick Chinese accent. Eva Longoria, ICE blatantly murdering U.S. citizens. Imagine what they're doing with no cameras around. And this is another, in my view, crazy quote, because on the one hand, for years, liberals wanted body cams. And now they're turning around on the subject because we have body cams, which often shows the bad behavior of leftist protesters and the immigrants that these guys are arresting. which I shouldn't even call them immigrants. They're illegal aliens. They came to this country illegally. Literally every country on the planet has a border wall and enforces it. Mexico enforces their border. There was a video online. I watched a woman. She was detained by the Mexican authorities. Now, she was a U.S. citizen who was applying for dual citizenship in Mexico because her parents were Mexican and she qualified to be a dual citizen. She came to Mexico and to fill out the paperwork, but she overstayed by 1 day. And she was on her way out of the country, and the Mexican authorities detained her. So that is how fast you will get kicked out of Mexico if you overstay your welcome there. So if Mexico can have a border, and if Mexico can kick people out, why can't the United States do that? Why can't any country do that? Because they all do it. They literally all do it. This is insanity. Bill Maher. I love this. My ex-boss, he makes some good quotes and some terrible quotes. But this week, he nailed it. Bill Maher. Celebrities don't know about the real world. Talent isn't knowing things. $100%. 100%. It's long overdue that these celebrities need to be not quoted about their politics. They shouldn't be asked. They shouldn't even be asked. But everybody asks them because everybody wants ratings. They go on news shows. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. When Robert De Niro and some of these celebrities go on MS Now, Stephen Colbert, I don't know if he went. I'm trying to think of the other guy who went. The guy from Dumber and Dumber. I can't think of his name. Not Jim Carrey, the other guy. He went on. It's like, who cares? Who cares, dude? You're an actor. Here's the other quote. Bill Maher, lefty celebs just cycle through causes, toss them aside when they aren't the current thing. Yes. A mere couple of weeks ago, before Minnesota, it was Palestine, 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 Palestine. Before that, it was, what was it before that? I guess it was climate change. Was that the one before that? I don't remember the order. Ukraine was in there at some point. Black Lives Matter was way back then now. Alex Ogle, reclaim the wisdom of the ancients, make actors prostitutes again. Yeah. Just entertain people. No one wants to know what you're thinking. I like Sydney Sweeney. I don't really want to know what she's thinking, if I'm being honest. I want her to smile, look nice, be pleasant. I don't need to know her opinions. I don't want Jason Statham's opinions either. I want to see him shoot dudes in the face. I don't need to know his opinion. Judge and jury, Ben Stiller declares ICE an armed militia guilty of violent murder. This is a guy who has an amazing comedy legacy, right? His dad was a famous comedian with his wife. He's done really funny movies, but now he's super serious guy, everybody. Hey, Ben Stiller's got an opinion, everybody. Hey, everybody, look at the clown. He's going to tell you a serious opinion. Oh, is he going to do it in a joking way like the jesters of old? No. He's going to give you a serious opinion. See, he's done research. You know, why he's sitting in his $1 million mansion and why he's going to award shows and being on TV and movies. See, he's done some research, everybody. Just stop, dude. Stop. Never go full retard. Remember? Remember? Alex Ogle. Hence my point about Sweeney's Gundam character being only filmed by the boobs. That's all it's needed to convey the character's emotional state. I agree. And a sound effect like boing, boing, boing every time they move. Let's see. Amber Rose blast Ariana Grande for pushing her fans to stay home, don't work to protest ICE. By the way, that was today, I think. Or yesterday, I'm not sure. Shut the F up, says Amber Rose. I mean, she's trying. She's like jumped on the Trump train a while ago. She's not nearly as famous as Ariana Grande, but yeah, they wanted a general strike. The liberals wanted people to generally go on strike. Like, they thought they could motivate enough people in this country to suddenly stop going to work. I don't know of a single person who even considered such nonsense. John Adams. To be fair, Ben Stiller probably researched those Minnesotans that can't leer good. Nice. Nice. Yeah, like, I live in... Alex Ogle at John Adams. Oh, John Adams, you are our wittiest president. Yeah, I live in New Jersey. It's one of the bluest states in the Union. I know a lot of Democrats. I don't know a single one of them who even considered missing work. They probably don't even know that there was a strike called. They probably have no idea about it because they're not terminally online like I am. I knew about it and I laughed. I'm like, hey, shut up. I already don't go to work. I'm a writer. I'm home working. But Jesus, come on. A general strike? This isn't the Soviet Union. Like, there's a group of workers who are barely keeping the infrastructure going during the Soviet times, and if they all go on strike, yeah, everything grinds to a halt, and you all start starving. And then, you get to starve for a while, I guess. John Adams, smiling, taking the compliment. So this was like an insane idea. And the idea that Ariana Grande would miss a beat. I bet she didn't stay home. I bet she went right out and did whatever her publicist said was on her schedule. I bet she did. I bet there wasn't a general strike at the Ariana Grande house. Pharrell Williams prays for U.S. leaders to show mercy on illegal immigrants at Grammys event. Okay, that's a little more... I mean, that's fine, right? He's not trying to be a jerk about it, I guess. So, he feels bad for the immigrants. Like, you can feel bad for him. You can feel bad for him. Some of them have it really rough. I have no doubt. But that's not the issue at all. And unfortunately, it's gotten so out of hand, it's had to come to this. And it's going to continue to come to this, at least for another year. After that, maybe another 2. After that, who knows? Who knows? Oh my God, there's more on about ICE. Game of Thrones star Peter Dinklage recites poem for ICE agitator Renee Good, stomps foot, and walks off stage. Where was this? Was this... This wasn't during the... He wasn't at the Grammys, was he? Okay. Oh, you can watch it. Oh, I guess he did it as a video? Okay. Yeah, he's caught up in this too. Let's see. Guess that's about it. Let's wrap things up with the New York Post. I always like to go to the New York Post. More on the Grammys. John Adams, stomping feet is a sign of a short temper. Ha! Well, you know, it was Peter Dinklage, so it was just a little video. Johnson confident government shutdown will end Tuesday as he shoots down demands. Okay, good. NYC on track for longest deep freeze in 65 years. Here's when it will finally warm up. I'm close enough to New York that I'm going to look at this. Because if it warms up in New York, it'll definitely be warmer here. Big Apple is expected to have shivered 32 degrees below for 15 days. By the time the cold is likely to break next Saturday, God, I hope it breaks before then. Alex Ogle, I am reading Robert Heinlein's Time Enough for Love, an aphorism that made me laugh and was poets really shouldn't read their own poetry. JFK assassination film held up by feds could be worth $900 million and could prove the second shooter on the grassy knoll. Really? Come on. They're just releasing everything. The Epstein files, this, probably release some UFO stuff next. Timothy Busfield, once branded creep, accused of sexual harassment by Julia Roberts' sister-in-law. He sounds like he's in a lot of trouble. See, here's Catherine O'Hara 3 months before death. She looks really gaunt, like unhealthily gaunt. But she still looks, she's got such a twinkle in her eye, though. You can't help but laugh. So bummed she died. European princess sent Epstein flirty, fawning emails. You tickle my brain. Ew. Let's see. Body found in sea amid search for Mick Jagger's granddaughter's partner. Oh my God. Alex Ogle, sorry the quote was actually a poet who reads his verse in public may have other nasty habits. Oh, that's a completely different quote. Yeah. Newsom mocked for memoirs, poor childhood sob story despite Getty family connections. Oh my God. John Adams, but they should probably finish the poem, Mr. Grimm. This heated rivalry thing is out of control. Major U.S. airport forced to ground all flights after extreme cold sparks air traffic control emergency. That was Orlando. Orlando, it snowed down in Florida, believe it or not. Trump is political liability for GOP in New Jersey. Ex-Governor Christie says. I don't listen to anything ex-Governor Christie says. I would take political advice from him as if I would take diet advice from him. Florida's gather frozen iguanas by the armload as frigid temps leave them paralyzed, dropping from trees. They're nasty when they're awake, though. They'll whip you with their tails, and it hurts. My friend had one. You didn't want to get near it if it didn't like you. Masked agitators mob female reporter during LA anti-ICE protest. This is downtown LA, which is almost like a completely different city. They try to cut camera cable. That's scary. Let's see. I think that's about it. Oh. Hollywood A-lister looks unrecognizable as Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol in London. This is Johnny Depp. He's doing a Christmas Carol. John Adams, the Aussies have drop bears. What are drop bears? Oh, the koalas, they drop out of the tree in the cold? That must be scary. I think we're just about done here. Oh, Groundhog Day 2026. Here's when and where Puxatawny Phil and Staten Island Chuck will make their predictions. I'm pretty sure we're going to get 6 more weeks of winter. But here's hoping no. Teen with Tourette's syndrome operates restaurant by himself. The constant activity is better than therapy. I'd like a soda, please. F you, F you, F you. Excuse me? Nothing. I have Tourette's. So you wanted a soda? Yeah, I'd like a hamburger. F you. Alex Ogle, I hear that iguanas are an invasive species down in Florida. I'm surprised there aren't blue-haired Dems protesting culling them. Oh, they're not being culled. They just get paralyzed, and so they're scooping them up to get them out of the road and so they don't die. And then later when it warms up, they'll snap right out of it. All right, I think that's it. So what have we learned today? Well, we learned that Duckworth is the craziest guy at the Grammys because he had a crazy outfit. We miss Catherine O'Hara. We definitely learned that. The box office was nuts. Absolutely insane this week. We learned that Lamont is dead. Very sad. Comics are dead. Always very sad. And we learned that the cold is very, very cold everywhere in the Northeast. Alex Ogle, that's Sir Duckworth to you, rebel. Oh, I skipped one. John Adams, in a proper timeline, that's South Park's Cartman opening a shop. True. Have you seen, I don't know if you guys seen this, on a completely other note, some guy is doing South Park AI, and they're not bad. Like, they're pretty good. So he did a South Park AI of the Leering Center, basically, and all the Somali fraud. And it was pretty good. I gotta say, it was pretty coherent and good for an AI piece. So I think the guys at South Park might be out of a job soon. Perhaps they already know it. They're usually pretty ahead of the curve, but man, I don't know what happened. The TDS now seems strong at the South Park studios. I'm still waiting to see the new season of South Park. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it for a while. I just sort of lost interest. There's just too many episodes, but kind of disappointing to see them finally go down. But what are you going to do? Everybody has their day, I guess. But Fallout actually is pretty good this season, so I'm going to go watch another episode of that. I'm going to get ready for the Piney podcast. I'm going to check on little Joan. John Adams, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. It's true. It's true. What's coming up for me? Well, thawing out this week. I got to fix my car. I'll be on the American Werewolf podcast on Wednesday. Friday, I'm doing an event at the Avalon Library, and pray that by then some of this damn ice melts. So because I have to drive all the way to frickin' Avalon. But fortunately, it'll be in the day, and I'll be taking the main road. So I'm having a time. I'm having a time. This winter was not my friend. Alex Ogle, okay, I'm off. Good night, Tony and all. I hope you have a busy week ahead. Tony, keep little Joan on control. She'll eviscerate Dems with her wicked temper. I will. Thank you. Everybody else, stay warm, but stay frosty. And we'll see you in the next one. Good night, everybody.